think we're assholes, but we're dickish at best.
Hello and welcome to a very different, very special episode of Dickish at Best that we are not sure is going to be a main episode or a bonus, but it'll be up.
We're not going to air this.
Here's the sad part. As you can probably see if you're watching this on YouTube, Blaze and Saul are both not able to be here for this. We had plans for Blaze to be here, but his body said, fuck that. And, you know, just went on about his business. And Saul had to work and could not be here. So things happen.
And that's crappy because actually I have never met Saul, but I was really looking forward to like just shooting the shit with him for a minute.
Absolutely,
you know? And Blaze, of course, dude, I love Blaze.
See, it's Blaze. Whenever he called me, because he texted me and said, "I'm getting dressed and trying to get up and walk around and see if it helps." Yeah. And then he says to me, he goes, he just calls me like 8 minutes later. He's like, "Dude, I've been trying, but I keep having to sit back down." I was like, and he kept being like, "I can come." I'm like, "Dude, just chill.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Don't do
like
that
we'll figure it
yourself.
out." And I think me and you've already essentially agreed that by the time that we get done with all this, we'll just have you back on another time. It doesn't matter. I mean,
it's not like I'm 5,000 miles away. I'm just
for now.
I'm just 60 minutes down the road. I can any weekend almost just hop down.
Yeah, exactly.
And be here.
God, see, that's why I couldn't remember how far away it was. You know,
yeah,
I couldn't remember. I'm not going to say where.
No, that's okay.
Hush.
That's okay. I've already told people. Tiny little town called Horatio.
Well, there you go. I didn't say it. That's all that matters.
That's fine. Yeah, no.
Anyway, if y'all are not aware, and you may be just by noticing a familiar face, this is Mr. Kurt Connor, my longtime friend at this point.
Yeah.
6 years?
6, 7, I think.
Almost 7.
Yeah.
Very close to 7.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, he was one of my coworkers a long while back, and he's recently gotten famous for a video that he posted to Reddit.
Or infamous.
Infamous, yes, yeah. Anyway, you may have seen. I'm sure that most of the people who listen to this probably at least know who Billie Eilish is, or you know,
and if you
William
don't,
Eyelash.
where have you been?
Yeah, but
I'm 38 and I know who Billie Eilish is. What are you doing?
But he posted a parody called "Dad Guy" of her song "Bad Guy," of course, and I want to start with this part, and then we're going to go back from there because I just think it's hilarious.
Okay.
The best part about the fact that this song blew up is that the day that he posted it, he shoots me a message and go, "Hey man, dig this." And I click on it, listen to it, I laugh. I'm like, this is great. Right? But I've done this before. You sent me that Coffee Rush thing forever ago back. I said, yeah, okay, awesome. Great video. And I'm like, surely this will do well.
and I did not think that at all.
So the conversation from there devolved into him, you know, we were talking about this. He's like, "How's your show stuff doing?" You know, and I was telling him, I'm like, you know, we have, you know, we get so many views. You know, it's okay. We found an audience that consistently listens to us, and that's what we appreciate.
And it's awesome, by the way, that you guys are listening to their stuff. And I wish you would listen to mine.
Don't be jealous.
If anything,
I get to be jealous.
I told my people to come listen to you guys. By the way,
I know
I threw it like right out there in live chat when we premiered the other video.
And again, that's not the reason I even joined it. But
right.
I appreciate it nonetheless. And you know,
I look out for my people.
What's funny is like I'm going to be on this podcast, and I'm like, shit. Here goes Kurt being a nice guy, giving his 15 minutes of fame and throwing us a little bone, and I'm not even on the right account for it. So I was like, switch. I've got to be back.
Swapped over, and people were like, "Hey, where'd that one guy go? Who's this other guy? What are you? You have a podcast? Is it about video games?" Yeah, well, there's the one that's about video games. The other one's just dick jokes all the time. So
I really seriously thought when we land on this name, I was like, how often do we have to throw in dick jokes in this show to make this name make sense? But I also have a great story about that I haven't told you about, not dick jokes, but about the name that you may have caught because I know you said you went back and listened to a couple of episodes just to kind of get a vibe.
Had to catch up so I would know where we were at in the story.
And I think it's been long enough that you may not have seen it. But either way, that conversation was on Facebook Messenger. We're just going back and forth, and we're talking about it. I say, yeah, you know, we have a great community, people that we talk to all the time, play with us, constantly give us feedback and their thoughts on things, which is awesome. And I started telling him about Patreon, which at the time I think he was ignorant of.
I knew it existed,
but you didn't quite understand what it was.
I mean, I kind of knew what it was. I knew that the idea was, you know, that you have a base of people who are supporting you in your artistic pursuits or your
whatever you want to say,
right? Yeah, or whatever it may be. And I thought that was cool. But I was like, I just don't want to seem like I'm out here like begging people to give me money to act like a moron all the time.
See, and we're a little different because we started with Triangle Squared, which is a very structured, family-friendly, more reasonable
super
show.
PG, you know, and
I
focus.
I threw a fuck in there on accident the other day, and Saul said, "Don't worry, it's PG." So since we've always said it's PG, you get one. Yeah,
right.
But the conversation ended up going where it came down from, I started telling about that. I was like, thankfully we have a great community. We make about, we get 100, and it's changed a few times. We make on average about 100 to 105 is what we're at right now, dollars a month from you guys, which thank you. And, it was just going through him. He was like, the funniest part was that he was messaging me like he's completely unaware of what these things are and surprised. And he's like, dude, this is mind-boggling to me that you have that many. He's like, well, how do you find an audience? And I started telling him kind of how we got that.
I was totally perplexed as I was like, and plus the video hadn't even done anything yet at that point.
Exactly. You were at still like 67 views.
Right. And so I was like, how do you find it? Like you got this whole YouTube channel built on this thing and the other the two podcasts, which one was, this one's relatively new compared to the other.
Absolutely.
And like, how did you find in such a kind of a felt like a short time, but it's not
at all.
and this audience who's willing to, basically help and support you and you guys in this endeavor. How did you guys do that? I was totally just like this. And you were like, you'll find an audience. And then
yes, and then that was the greatest part is, we pretty much left it on, and I got what he meant. Right, the question of it is that we go about things very differently. Right. When you create things, you put them on your personal Facebook, and partially because you create for your friends, and my friends will find this funny, and that, and you put it out there, right? But the way I've always gone about this, most people do not even know that I do this because I'm pretty tight-lipped about it. I don't really just air my Facebook constantly saying that I do this and I do that. I don't even have I have a personal Twitter that I very seldom use, and I don't even really talk about this that much on it. I pretty much use our Triangle Squared one as my personal Twitter just because it works that way, and it's the show of, as much as I love this show, and this is really my favorite show to do essentially from the act of actually doing it. Right. It's just fun and hilarious and loose, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's the difference being is that you were looking at it as like, how do you find an audience full of people who don't know who didn't know you prior versus me? It's like there's some people who may find it organically or whatever, but for the most part, it is people that I already knew, and they're watching it because that's life, right? Yeah, it's like you have people that will support you just because they know you, but then you get to that point. It's like, well, do they really like it, or are they just being friendly?
Exactly. Like I've said this on another show or something, that when I put the video out, I thought it was going to get like 20 views tops, that 18 of those were going to be my mom going, oh, that's nice, and then one of them was going to be my dad going, I don't get it, and then the last view would be me. And that was going to be it. Well, maybe like 3 or 4 more views because I really love myself like a lot.
Switch to the account, like, thumbs up.
If you think I don't like my own shit, if you think I don't thumbs up my own shit every time, you are wrong.
That's classic, right? Yep. I don't, but I don't even think about it.
I do it now. I'm doing it now just to troll people, so they don't get the first like. I'm doing it now just I want to comment on it as soon as I release it and go first.
This is you coming off of literally hitting our reader mail number 17 with foist.
I did.
And smashing the like button, as you are supposed to do.
You are supposed to smash that like and bang that subscribe bell or the thing and the other. I suck at YouTube, guys.
So, and that's what's funny. So, we in the thing of me telling him, like, the majority of our audience listens to us through podcast services. Exactly.
Classy. Keeping it classy.
But, I was like, the majority of people who found us and listen to us do so through podcast services. Like, they listen on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, all these places. And that's very different because what you're doing has more of a real, I'm not going to say that. What you're doing has a very intimate part that was attached to the video. I think the video definitely helped the song. The song is funny on its own, but the video helps, and we were already talking about, what you were doing, but the video helps across the board on the selling the joke of it being a dad, visually seeing it, and here's the thing. What I've always loved about you is that you play into your own jokes where you understand, and we talked about comedy earlier, right before we even started. You understand what people may pick on you on, and then you also just lean into it yourself. And
you have to.
Yeah,
you have to be completely self-aware of what you're doing, what you're saying,
exactly,
and you have to just dig into it and accept that, and even play up the imperfection.
Yes,
you have to just eat that and make it a part of the joke, and it becomes the joke.
See, and the video sold that.
Yeah, it's like I'm a huge chubby, fat, slow guy that is a parent and a good parent most of the time, and you just have to take that into yourself and find the humor in it. And it plays well because there a lot of people are that.
Oh
know?
Yeah, and see what I land on is very similar to like. The greatest thing is that most dads, just because most people are going to have something about them that they don't really like about themselves.
Sure.
Every person does, right?
Sure.
And since we're leaning into dad jokes with this whole situation, it's like the video sold it across the board because it's like small stuff, right? It's like some of your weight goes into it. It's like, well, I need to cut my toenails, but I don't want to have to reach down and get them.
Exactly.
Right? And
yeah.
then all the ridiculous stuff, running and trying to exercise and just being like, I was like, I love that. I was like, he's playing up the fact that he can't do it. He's just like,
that was actually a little bit too real. That was a little bit too real to the point where I was like, I have an inhaler in my pocket and I might need to use it now.
Yeah.
Just almost. I was trying to lip sync the words the entire time. I was wearing the big ridiculous headphones.
Yes.
By the way, those were my actual mixing headphones for the music and stuff.
I thought so.
So I was wearing my pro headphones.
And I was like, I bet you he's listening to the song in real time so that he can lip it.
I was. On my daughter's huge, crazy phone with like the Aztec print case and the pink little pop-out knob thing. Just for maximum idiocy.
Yeah.
And the cord, by the way, which is like 10 feet long, so it's dragging the ground as I'm jogging my big ass down the road. So I'm like listening to it, and I'm trying to lip sync, and we've gone like a quarter of a mile at this point. And so I'm just like, work, I can't, shit. So it was a little too real. And she was like, "Are you okay?
Are you playing it up?
Is this a joke right now?" And so when I hit that line of, "Is this a joke right now?" that's when I know it's in premium. This is the gold stuff.
Yeah, it's going to sell at the best.
Right.
But, you know, we found all of our audience on something that is not tied specifically to video, but we've always done video. And up until this year, I wasn't just exceptionally proud of our video. I mean, you know, the set was something that we had to tear down every week. It was in a small room. It was in that game room.
Right.
It was way more shallow. The camera was way the hell up on us, and I hated it. It felt claustrophobic, and I'm weird. I want stuff to stay the same place, so tearing it down, I never felt like I could put it in the same place twice, and it bothered the hell out of me.
And so there's constant just little things changing.
Yeah, and Saul would look at me, and I still do it now, right? If I notice that I have tape down on the floor to show where the table goes when you do different things, and Saul would look at me and be like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm like, I get that it doesn't, but anything that I do, I try my best to do it the way I want to do it, and I get obsessed with it almost. So I'm like, you know, I want to put these things back in. So now that we've got the new studio built, which again I think Saul was like, "Why are you worried about building a new studio?" I'm like, it matters to me, you know.
Dude,
I had the idea to do the pull down vinyl
it's
blinds.
just clean. It's very. I mean, it looks pro. You know, it is pro actually. It just has a nice look to it. And
well, thank you, Kurt.
Well, you're very welcome. And I've been in some real studios now, so I should know.
Yeah. But anyway, so overnight happens. I have to drive. This is the funniest part. I have to drive 9 hours in one day.
What?
And so you're like, it went viral. I'm driving, and I look down and I see that. I'm like, oh, Lord. I come to a stop for a second, and I'm like, well, I got to at least see what's going on. I click on it. I'm like, holy shit, 293,000 something. It was something like that.
And it was so crazy to
overnight.
watch.
That was the thing.
From 17 views between like us and Mom and, you know, just immediate close friends. I had done the idiot thing of posting it to Reddit, and I was so scared because you know how Reddit is. It can be totally just vicious.
So I was curious. You know, I mentioned Reddit in our conversation. Did you already have the thought of posting it on Reddit prior? Or did that kind of more come from the conversation? That was a curiosity.
Really toyed with the idea. I just kind of bounced it back and forth, like I can do it, and maybe it would take off, or maybe people would be like, "Just shut up, you fat piece of shit," and that would be the end of it, and it would get downvoted to oblivion. And yeah, so I talked to you about it, and I talked to another guy named Cody, who I've never met him, but we talked through PMs on Reddit because he had posted something. No, I'm sorry, I had posted something about being self-conscious about the way that like my huge body is.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And he was like, no, man, just go for it, you know? And then we kind of became online friends, just going back and forth, like being supportive of each other. He was like, I want to put my project out. And I'm like, dude, you got to totally go for it. And he was like, you got to put your thing out there. And I was like, okay, I will.
See, those are the people you need in your life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You need those positive people in your life. And this guy doesn't know me at all. He didn't know me at all. And he was just a total stranger. And he was like, you just got to give it a shot. And so I threw it out there and I walked away because I was at work. I had just posted it. And I was like, okay, I have to work now. And I walked away and I came back and it was on its way up already. I was like, I've got to start responding to people now. So I started responding to people and then it just kept going and I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with comments.
And then you hit that point in your mind of like, because you're probably like me. When people comment, I'm like, I have to respond. I have to reply.
I have to because it's just what you do. It's just how you have to respond.
Right. And
these people took a second of their day.
That's the thing for me. It's like, not only did they even bother watching this thing that I didn't believe in. It's like you
even I didn't believe in it. I really didn't.
Like you did in terms of you believed in it enough to put it together, but the moment it was done, you stopped. It was like, now I'm done believing in it because I'm scared that you're going to have to put it up and deal with people's criticisms of it.
Which, by the way, and we'll get into this later, but reading people's criticisms now is the funniest thing on earth to me.
See, it's great that you've been able to throw it that way, right? Yeah. Because some people can't fall under that crippling weight of it and think, I mean, I've not hit that. You know,
it's a lot. It really is. It's a lot. But we don't have to talk about that right now. We can get into it later.
No, that's fine.
I'll pull it up on my phone and read some of them. They're brutal. They are brutal.
Oh yeah.
We'll do the mean tweets thing.
Yes, that's a great idea. We'll do that before we close the show.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, and it was funny. The rest of the week. So that was again Tuesdays when you put it out. Wednesdays when I had to drive a ton. The whole day I kept looking at it and I was like, oh. By the end of the day, it was at like 800,000 or something.
Right. It was close to 1 million.
And I was like, good Lord. And then it just kept going, right? And then by that Friday, I noticed that it was getting close to 1 million, like really close. But I was like, I noticed it is slowing down now. And I said, I wonder if it's going to break 1 million. And then it's like a second burst of wind, ba-bam.
And that was right after two things happened. WG in Chicago emailed me and did that interview. And today in Australia, which is the strangest, why Australia? But thank you if you're you're one of the Australian people. I freaking love you guys,
Josh.
So
Ayers,
much.
There you go, buddy.
I do not know how you guys handle being upside down all the time. The blood going to your head must be insane. But just this is so humbling. It really is. It's such a humbling experience when you. It
would have been a true Australian experience if they sent you a box of spiders.
I was. Hey mate, have these. Terrible, poisonous, kill you all in your sleep spiders.
Josh will sometimes be like, "Oh, that's normal here." Well,
we're used to the deadly.
I hate spiders. I backed off a little bit. I'm not nearly. There was a point in my life where I for sure had arachnophobia. I've been able to wrangle it in a little bit, but I'm still like when I see them, I go into like fight or flight mode. It's like, okay, what's going on here? Are you ready? Yep. And I'll sometimes be like, just chill. Look at what the spider is. Wolf spider. It's okay. Scary and it's big, but it's okay.
It eats the bad things.
Yes, and you just kind of pull yourself back. Right?
I've been having to teach my wife that. Just let the wolf spider be. It's fine.
It's kind of like king snake. If you can tell it's a king snake, leave it alone.
Yes,
definitely where y'all are at. When you're dealing, you don't deal with it really in town. I've never seen one, but when we used to live out in the house that you'd been out to, we had them out there.
Yeah, and you got to leave them alone because they're eating the stuff you don't want to see.
Yeah,
they're eating the stuff that will kill you.
Wild stuff. But anyway, I guess going back to point, your video went crazy. And trust me, we're the worst about losing point. Me, Blaze, Saul, and we talk about it sometimes. We're like, is it more fun that we lose the point?
Sure.
Or is it,
you got to go off on the tangent. Yeah. You have to just totally embrace the tangent.
And we're like, as long as we can try and get back to a topic so we can close it out, we'll be doing all right. But sometimes you just trail to another trail to another trail,
and you completely forget where you were.
But it's what makes a fun show, and that's why I was so happy to have you on. And I am a little bummed that Blaze and Saul can't be here because
I really am too.
The whole idea of, like, we always talk about the thing that makes the show fun is it's just essentially 3 to 4 people hanging out, bullshitting, and we're just recording it.
Right.
We're not really, you do a little bit of things that because you are aware that you're in a show, so you occasionally make sure and you do it inadvertently. You talk to the camera, you do all sorts of stuff, but for the most part, it's the camera is just essentially being a voyeur. You're just looking in on what we're doing.
I've always seen it whenever there's some kind of camera involved. I've always looked at it as just another person.
Yes,
it's just another person. I mean, that camera is just an eyeball for the viewer.
Yes.
And so that's how we get to interact with them.
Well, and see, if you don't do that, right? If you don't do that, you run the risk of being paralyzed by the fact that there's a camera on you.
Sure.
If you have to view it as what it actually is, which is something that's going to be essentially there for other people to spectate and look at. Right. If you actually view it like it's the millions of people that it could potentially be, that's crippling.
That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah.
But if you look at it instead of that's just one person.
Yeah.
That's just one person.
It's like, dude, that's just Silent Bob. That's just our buddy that's been in the room forever.
And I've been waiting for Silent Bob to drop that nugget of wisdom. And every video I've shot, he hasn't said a word.
Yeah, but I'm waiting. One day he will show his sentience.
One day he'll just pop up. That's Chasing Amy, and then
there you go.
And then you leave the restaurant and. Come on, tubby bitch.
It's like, the thing about Silent Bob that's funny is the kids' version of Silent Bob in my mind has always been, and I know you have. You've seen the 90s
animated show?
No, even though that was good. Have you ever seen the 1990s Little Rascal live action movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
Good Lord.
Now I have something to do, though.
Okay, dude, it's hilarious. And I'll tell you, even as an adult, it's Little Rascals. It's slapstick comedy. It's stupid stuff. It's funny no matter how old you are. Hannah had never seen it until... I was already working at Leadwell, so it's been probably 5 years, and she was like, "This is so cute and funny and ridiculous." I was like, "Exactly, it's a timeless movie."
Now I've got to go watch that.
But there's a character in the movie who he's not a mute, but instead, every time anything comes up where he's supposed to say something, they call him because they go, "Ain't that right?" And he goes, and then they go through it, and then of course they do the classic Silent Bob thing where at the end of the movie they go, "Ain't that right? Isn't that right?" And then he goes, "Actually," and then he has a big spiel, and then they go, "We didn't know that you knew how to talk." Essentially,
we didn't know you knew another word other than
So
and then he's like, "Fuck
classic.
you,
classic."
How dare you assume my intelligence?
I have to tell you this much. I'm going to give you at least a bed to start on. Okay. The basis of the movie is all around the Little Rascals being together, and it's primarily about all these boys being together in a boys' club called the He-Man Woman Haters.
That's great.
And then you just go from there.
That's great.
So that gives you everything you need to know.
And then they deal with girls, I guess, at some point.
Alfalfa is the love interest guy who is in the He-Man Woman Haters, but he's dating Darla, and he refuses. Okay. He plays the game of pretending that he's not, and they'll sometimes find him, and then it just the movie continues to play off, and it's just a series of ridiculous events, and you're going to love it, I promise.
Wow.
So yes, if you can find it and watch it somehow, you will enjoy this.
That's great.
But...
That's great. Is this one of those things that it ends like the friends we made were the lessons we learned along the way?
I mean, essentially, which is great, right? It's classic 90s. You know what? I don't think I give enough. I don't give enough credit to, I always talk about like Kingdom Hearts and some video games, and there's some shows too.
Well, you're kind of a late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, I'm 93, so early 90s. But in terms of the things that would have shaped me, I would have been remembering things in the late 90s.
Right,
so that's
right. That's where your cultural influences started.
Yes, yeah. So we're thinking about like Kingdom Hearts and things like that. When you go through, it's like those are the things I always give credit to. Will being like, those are the things that taught me what I didn't necessarily see from my parents or my dad. Of like, you can definitely in the South. It's like I can have friends and I can care about my friends and I can love them and hug them and tell them I love them or all those things. Right? I can show my friends that I care about them.
But 15 years ago.
Exactly, and definitely in the South, it's still weird. There's still people who are like, I don't hug men.
Right.
It's like they don't understand. They don't understand strong men friendships.
It's the hand clap, pull in, bro hug thing.
Which that's pretty close. That's pretty good. You know what I mean? If you're getting that, that's still pretty good. But I don't think I give enough credit to the Little Rascals for showing you like how sometimes it's like the whole movie's got a ton of ploys about essentially the main characters are Alfalfa and Spanky. They're best friends, and of course this rift is tearing them apart.
Right. Yeah, you're. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. I hate when I do that.
This is your first podcast, man. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah. I can be on international news.
Well, hey,
slide right through it, but put me on a podcast with a dude I've known freaking 10 years, and then I stumble.
no problem, yeah. You know what would have been great is on the news things, I almost wish you would have thrown out, if you would have tried leaning into the dad things on those even more.
Oh, I would have
You know,
loved
just
to.
dumb stuff, like when they're talking to you, just doing the whole Ricky Bobby, like...
I would have loved to have done that. Just to do a bit, you know?
Yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier. The Australian show was scripted. They kind of had... They didn't script my answers, but they had scripted their questions and their patter, kind of.
Sure, yeah.
And so I had kind of prepared my answers in advance, and so I would do things like I would be walking around the house and like looking at the script and like puzzling over it like this, and then I would throw something out at Kayla like, "Hey, is this funny?" She'd be like, "No."
You're
And then I
never
would go back-
funny. I hate you.
And then I would go back. She's the one. She's great because I can write 85% or 90% of a song or a
Yeah.
joke, and I'll hit her with it, and she'll give it 5 minutes, and then she'll give me the real punchline.
Yes, she'll do the
She gives-
fill in. Yeah,
She'll go, "Haha, that was funny," and then 5 minutes later she'll go, "What if you said this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's it.
now you've completed it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the real joke, or that's the real punch to that particular song." We're doing Lizzo's "Truth Hurts," and I was struggling for a line at the end.
I don't know Truth Hurts. I know the Juice song.
Juice is one we're doing too.
Yeah,
But,
but I don't know the. I mean, I know. Well, I don't know because hold on, Lizzo just apparently came out of nowhere, and I've got interesting things about her. But
She's super like body positive.
well, see, and don't get me wrong,
but-
I have no problem with her. She seems like a really nice, fun person.
Oh, yeah.
but apparently she's been doing music for a long time.
A long time.
and just kind of and
like that
you know,
album's been out for 2 years,
and just now is blowing
people
up.
slept on it forever.
And
you know,
it makes
including
you-
me because I'm behind.
But you know who
all the
William
time.
Eyelash is.
I do know that William Eyelash fellow.
But you know what's funny about the Lizzo thing is I was having my wife. I was talking to her the other day, and you know, there's people that say that Billie Eilish is an industry plug. And if you don't know what an industry plug is, essentially somebody that the music industry backs, and they push all of their marketing power and everything behind
Right.
to try and form a superstar that they can get behind and then make money off of. It's kind of
Sure.
the idea. Now, whether or not that's true with Billie Eilish, who knows?
I don't know. I mean, she produces with her brother a lot.
Yes.
and he seems like he's a really talented writer and a guitarist and producer. He actually does a lot of production stuff, and
Yeah.
he seems really talented. And honestly, she seems really talented too. And I think whether or not she had been a plug, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
but I think she would have hit it one way or the other.
Well, that's the other thing is that just because you're an industry plug does not mean that you're not talented.
Right.
And some people say like an industry plug is someone who has no talent. It's just someone that they're like, you have a visual look
You have
that
a
we
look.
think that we can do, and we're going to push everything behind you. But it's at the end of the day, it's like you can say that somebody like Britney Spears could have been an industry plug, but at the same time, no one can deny that Britney Spears can sing.
She can sing,
So it doesn't matter.
and not just that. Not just that she can sing, but she can sing. She can dance.
Yes.
she can entertain. You know, she's quick. She
is,
can be
exactly.
witty,
Exactly.
And, there's something about being a performer that I'm not saying it makes you different from people. That's not necessarily what I want to say, but you kick into a different gear or a
Yes.
different mode
When you know the goal is essentially entertaining someone.
right.
Yeah.
You kick into this. You kind of almost snap into a character, and
the character is partially you, but it's also partially what you know you can play up on.
right. And once you've hit and once you find that comfort zone with that, anytime the audience is on you in some way or another, whether it's live or on a camera, you kick into that.
Yes.
And you fall back on these self tropes that you've made.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you build this little Bible, little universe in your head about what you would say, what you would do in these. I mean, tell me you don't at times get in the shower and you're running over things in your head about
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you do. I think everybody does.
Because
to a point.
anybody who puts themselves on the camera, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this isn't me. It is, but it gets weird. I think people who are watching the show, and I'm pretty honest. I mean, I say what is me, but I think if I don't sit there and just completely nail down things, I could see people easily thinking because of the way I portray myself or project certain aspects of me that I do have, but I normally don't use them to the extent that I do on camera or in show. It's like, I'm not a very social person, really. I really stay home a lot. but I am great at being social. And if I'm put in a situation where I need to be, people tend to like me because of that. I'm an easy person to come and just talk to and get along with.
But it's something you turn on.
Exactly.
Right.
It's something that I instinctually know when to turn on and when it's necessary. And my wife sees it and she's like, I don't understand. You're so talkative and friendly with people, but I don't just go out of my way.
But then you come home and stay in the house for 4 days and binge watch whatever, Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
And don't speak to anyone the entire time. Yeah. I'm the exact same way.
Or if I do, it's through like text.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're in that mode also of being kind of pulled away from people, that's when you're kind of formulating in your head what the next
or even that it gives you a mix, right? Now that we do this and this is part of what I do, it's like I do think about it's like I've got to also reserve energy so that when it comes time to do these things, I can tap into the energy I need. Because if you do it constantly, you hit that point of like you burn out, and eventually you're going to have that day where you're like, I just know that you're not feeling it. And what's great about being able to tap into this energy like that is that there are days where I'll be having a bad day and I really will think to myself like I'm a little worried that recording may not go right because I'm having a bad day. Right. But for the most part, now that we've been I'm so into it and I understand it, now it's like when we get to going, I immediately get in a better mood, and it's like, here I am. This is it. I'm tapping into energy. I've got the mood. I like doing this.
It's like doing exercise. You have to just kind of pick up sometimes, even when man, it's cold outside. I don't want to go out and get any cardio, which I haven't done in a while, and you can tell. But
just enough for that video.
Just enough. I've actually been doing better lately. But you almost kind of have to force yourself. It's just like going to work. It's just like going to work. You have to kind of almost keep to a schedule, not rigidly.
Yes.
But you have to make time to let yourself have that little bit of a creative outlet.
Yes.
And then.
Because otherwise you feel like you're in hell.
Yeah, and it takes a minute sometimes to let it start happening. But then once it does, you're like, okay, now I'm on.
See, and that's great. I think we both have jobs that give us just enough personal freedom to how you choose to tackle things.
Right.
And I won't go into, people don't know what I do either necessarily. But
that's okay.
What both of us do is you do have a little bit of a window to be like, I need to. I have a thought, and I don't feel like I'm completely caged out of being able to go somewhere with it. Right. Even if I need to stop for a second, like, there's times where I think about things I want to do for the show, or think about when we used to, whenever I used to do band stuff. And we'll talk about bands here in a little bit, since this is a music-oriented endeavor that's happened for you.
Yeah.
But, whenever I was doing that, there were times where I'd be like, oh, I need to get this now. And it's like,
yes.
And you have that, you have
You've
that
got to
freedom.
stop whatever you're doing, which most of the time I have the luxury of doing that. I can step aside and pull my phone out and start giving myself notes.
Yes, whatever it is,
which like 2 a.m. the other day, I wake up just out of nowhere, and I have the almost entire lyrics written in my own head for a parody of Alice in Chains' Rooster.
Okay.
And it's ridiculous, and I'm so excited for it. It's all about, instead of, the original was written about that sniper from Vietnam, Carlos Hathcock, and he was a bad motherfucker. Let's just be upfront about it. He murked a lot of people,
American sniper my ass.
I'm almost 40 years old, and I said the word murked.
I appreciate that. Look, now we get the age difference. For anybody who knows how old I am.
I'm 38.
Yeah. Good 12 years on.
We're almost from different generations. I think I'm right on the edge of millennial, by the way.
Yep. And I'm right on the edge of millennial, the other end, essentially.
See, yep.
Yep. That's funny.
Really close. But we're still there.
In Gen Z, right, is the one after us? Mm-hmm. Aren't they like 96 and onward, or is it
90? I thought it was 98.
Maybe. I don't know, man. Dude, generations get weird.
Yeah, it does. And
I feel like everybody has different windows of when it actually is.
And they get defensive about it. Defensive about it. People were like, millennials, and I'm like, I don't. Am I a millennial? I don't know if I'm a millennial. I need to Google, am I a millennial? And I typed it in, and I was like, oh shit!
I've legit done that.
Yeah.
Somebody called me a millennial. I'm like, I think I am a millennial. I looked. I was like, oh shit, I am a millennial.
I am the lazy one.
Darn. Here's the hoping all those stereotypes aren't true about me.
They are about me. They are 100% true about me. I will slack my way firmly to the middle and stay there.
I'm a great line setter, just right there.
Yep.
Just enough to not be remarkable, but also not to.
Right, but I still say thank you and please.
You fucked that up, man. Now you've got 1.2 million views on a video. You've completely fucked up your slacker thing.
Yeah, I can't slack. Contractually, I can't slack anymore.
Yeah, see, you fucked up. You've signed your soul over to the YouTubes.
I sold my soul at the crossroads, and now here we are.
Did you have to battle the devil with Devil Went Down to Georgia?
No, it was a rock paper.
Actually,
scissors.
Crossroads is a fucking great movie.
It is.
I haven't watched
It
that
is.
in a long time.
I watched the Karate Kids kick Steve Vai's ass all over that stage.
Ralph Macchio.
I mean, he smoked him. He came back from certain defeat.
Yeah,
and just
that's true.
With the classical riffs.
Classical.
Really, Kyle Gass style. And just blew him up. And Steve Vai can play that crap. Come on, Steve Vai can play that stuff. But
it's a movie. You suspend disbelief.
Just for a minute, yes, because we're talking about selling your soul to the actual devil to be able to play a guitar. You have to suspend your disbelief just a little bit.
Have you ever seen someone go through and talk about, while we're on movies, and then I do want to go back to the Lizzo thing because I think it's funny, but one of the things about the suspending of disbelief, and I've seen people poke fun at it. Home Alone is the ultimate movie for suspension of disbelief.
Oh, it has to
right?
be.
It's a movie that by no means would happen unless you suspend disbelief. But once but you do, and it happens really quickly in that movie. But once you do, now you're in his world, and you're like, this all makes sense in this world.
Yep. And once the director sucks you into that situation and makes you kind of buy into it, you're okay with the fact that getting a paint can to the skull from that height would kill you. but you're okay with it not killing Joe Pesci.
Well, also the whole that movie's one of those great examples of story beats of things that happen just so they can set up the real plot. Yep. Like, cause you remember the whole reason he gets left behind is because the neighbor kid wearing the little mask or whatever
kind of like him from behind, and the sister goes 13, 14, 15. Everyone's here getting the fucking bus. Let's go.
Yeah. So that's what's funny about that whole movie. It's like everything is meant to suspend disbelief so they can set up this ridiculous plot, but the plot's great.
And no one picked it up until they had gotten all the way to France. They've been together for 20 hours on an airplane,
and nobody
turned around and looked at Kevin's freaking face. By the way, what good parenting that is to not turn around and just look at your kid for 20 hours?
How many? But you think about how many kids they had.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, and nephews and nieces.
Yeah, sure. But what I mean is across the board, you've got that many kids with you. I'm sure that you're just hearing them and you're just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I just need a minute.
I love my daughter, but when people are like, do you want another one? I'm like, no, because I'm right in the perfect area where for the most part I can control that voice that hits you occasionally of, please be quiet.
Yep.
If I had 4 kids or 3 kids and I know that this is on you, everybody has their own threshold.
I'm on 4. So, but if you as a parent try to bullshit someone with that whole line of I've never had one single bad thought about my kids, you're a liar. A liar.
Maximum liar. And now don't be wrong. I mean, it's like the moms who get, and don't run, this is actually serious, but the moms who get like postpartum and they're like, I want to kill my kid.
Yeah, and that's different.
But that's hormonal.
That's hormonal brain chemistry thing.
Yes, you know. But it's like, if the mom who can at least, hopefully, then some of them don't, but the moms who can admit that, it's like people need to be able to admit that every day you have fucked up thoughts about somebody. You're like, I'm sure you looked at them like, I'd just kick the shit out of them if I could, but you don't, and you don't even really mean it. But there's just that party that's like, you're annoying me. There's
a little part of your lizard brain
of I understand that I could do this, but I'm not going to,
because we live in a society. I hate to use that crap. That was
Gamers
garbage.
Unite. Have you ever seen that Reddit?
Yeah. But yeah, there's always that little part, and you do love your kids, and it's almost impossible to express how much. Well, because it changes your definition of love.
Yes, but I definitely agree with that.
But there are those days when you're like, I would sell you to gypsies just for a moment of silence.
What's
just
funny?
For a second.
What ties into that is the whole thought of everyone who has a kid has those moments where they're like, they look back and think, and you're just kind of looking at your kid and you're like, you know what? I'm so pissed at you right now. But then they start doing something, and it's that age-old thing where it's like, and you see it in movies, but it's also the most real shit in the world.
It is.
Where you're just pissed at your kid, and then they come up and they start doing something cute, and you're like, no, you don't do that shit. I get to be mad at you. And then they go a little bit further, and you're like, and you try not to smile.
I can't stay mad at you.
And then you just look and you're like, damn it, I fucking love her. I can't stay mad at you.
Yeah, I feel that. That feels personal. That feels personal.
And that's how you know. It's like everybody has that moment where you're mad at your kid, but then they do that. And that's what it's the thing where instinctually you're going to I don't know. Of course, there's people who are going to have the ability to completely subvert that, and people who like beat the shit out of their kids.
And there are awful people out there that are they're total animals.
You know what else is weird about that is that you get to that point where it's like some of the blame is definitely deserving to them, but then you start having to ask that question of like, is this just how they were raised?
Yeah, what happened to them? What made them that way? Is it a part of their raising? Is it a part of something that's going on, hormonally, chemically, whatever, or is
it someone who has some kind of an unchecked thing where they're, where they do have some kind of crazy mood swing disorder and they don't even know it, and they're like, one moment they're great and the kid's like, my dad's so awesome and cool, and then the next moment it's like breaking beer bottles over fucking. But
that's terrible.
Yeah, you hope that's not the situation, but of course it can be. But you know what? We're going to take a step back for a second. I'm going to go back to Lizzo. So
we got to get back to Lizzo.
Her being an industry plug, the only reason that I could see it is because she is talented. She can sing.
Right.
And we already know that this is something, like you said, the album's been out for 2 years.
Sure.
The talent was there.
And
it just came down to somebody somewhere found her, realized what they was going,
and took that chance,
and was like, we're going to put all of our marketing weight behind her now. And I don't mean this for any kind of bad way. The current society, like the current climate of societal climate right now, definitely when you're looking at news and media and what they tend to push more right now, she's the perfect person. She's body positivity.
Yep.
She is African American, so you get to go through that. It's like
this is going to get racially weird.
But my point is, she's hitting a lot of minority. She
checks a lot of boxes.
Yes, exactly. And I don't even mean that to disparage her at all.
Not at all.
She's lucky in a great way, and also she's talented in a great way.
Oh, she's
good for her.
Extremely
good
talented.
For
her. When I went back and tried to do her song, the True Hurt song.
I'm sure it's terrible. Like it's so hard to hit.
I had to drop it 3 semitones just to be able to hit it.
Yeah,
but not just surprising. That. Her cadence and her delivery, trying to even get close to that,
she has a lot of
very hard
vocal tremolos and stuff, and
and she slurs her notes in a certain way that it doesn't sound like it's accurate. But if you try to imitate it, it doesn't sound right at all. But she does it very well.
Another singer that I think of, Coheed and Cambria, sometimes he'll stretch words to make them fit a melody, and you'll be like, that's weird, but that totally worked. And then you try and do it, like, I can't do that shit.
Yeah, I can't do that at all.
So yeah, I get what you mean though.
Yeah, and even like Eminem talked about, like barely just stretching the way a vowel sounds, or a subtle
just to
change.
give you the right melody that you're trying to pull from the word.
Orange door hinge. He went off on something like that at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he has it in the song, but yeah, he was talking about that before it even ended up in a song. He's like, people who say you can't, you can always do anything.
You just have to stretch it just a little bit.
And then people say, well, it's not really rhyming. Well, is it? I mean, what it is you're manipulating a word. That's what that's what creating a vocal melody is across the board.
Sure.
Manipulating words.
Finding that right balance between cadence and the consonant and vowel sounds to make it fit the way you want it to fit.
And then also fit with not only what you have in your own mind, but also what the music kind of demands of it.
Right.
And that gets weird. And eventually, when we start talking about bands, I actually have something I'm going to keep in mind.
It's like a subjective taste thing.
Yeah. But, the Lizzo thing, I have it's not even towards her. The only thing that involves her that bothers the shit out of me is, excuse me, do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
All right. Hulu has been obsessed, and this is all Hulu's fault. I fucking hate it. If you don't pay for commercial-free Hulu, which I don't, my Hulu's $1 a month.
Yeah, no, I've got the ghetto Hulu too.
Yeah,
don't feel bad.
I don't know. I got it on. I didn't even have Hulu until it went on Black Friday sale for 1 year for $1 a month. I was like, I'll do that.
I've totally got the broke man Hulu too. The next $1 million or the next million view video, I'll get the nice Hulu. But until then, it's ramen noodles.
Dude, right now you're on Raising Cane money. I mean, you
yeah. I just had Raising Canes, so but that broke my budget.
Which, speaking of which, right now I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick plug for you. Go watch the video first of all if you haven't, guys. I did post it in our Discord's music discussion.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The first day I said, hey, my buddy's thing went viral overnight, and it's at 300,000 views, and then by the end of that day it was already way higher. But,
that's still cool. Thank you.
If you guys haven't listened to it yet, just go to YouTube and literally type in Dad Guy. He's the first video that pops up, and then ironically there is another guy who did a parody back in June.
We had a short discussion, he and I.
Did y'all throw fisticuffs?
Was there
verbal
beef?
Fisticuffs?
He was. It wasn't actually a real beef. He's playing a character.
Yeah, of course.
He's playing a character.
Because I actually clicked on the
know.
channel out of curiosity. His entire channel is all like dad skits and dad songs.
It's an alternate reality game that he's playing.
Oh, okay.
It's actually an alternate reality game, and there's little pieces and parts of like a mystery that people are trying to put together. You know, he actually apparently people think he's an extraterrestrial. That character that's in a dad body.
Oh, so he's essentially Octodad.
Kind of.
I love it.
It's so crazy. I haven't even begun to piece together the clues yet. I'm totally like I'm in. I'm focused on it. I follow him now.
Dude, his channel was real professional setup.
His gear, his stuff. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah,
that's his whole. It seems like that's his entire job. And he like, I mean, I'm jealous because he shoots in 4K.
Yeah,
you know,
which we could, but we're just lazy and don't want to pull it from the thing.
and on top of that, I mean, his just production value is through the roof, and he has a great following. And they were all super nice. He threw out one tweet that was like, "Hey, this other dad guy, we got to take him down, you know, because he's taking attention away from me." And I was like, "No, don't do that, please. My career can't survive one negative thing right now. It's teetering on the edge of a cliff."
When you're in your 15 minutes of fame and you feel like you're at 14:59,
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at
constantly. I've just been at 14:59 since that first.
And this motherfucker's trying to cut it down to 10 minutes. You know, so.
But anyway,
it's a character, and I finally came to the realization that there's not beef at all, which I didn't want there to be beef, and I was like trying to desperately send him messages in every inbox that I could find of his, like, please don't be angry at me. Send, you know.
Did he have to message you back, dude? Calm the fuck down.
It's total silence. Totally in character, total silence. When did you actually, and I respect the shit out of that, by the way.
So did he never say? Have you never actually corresponded with him?
Apparently a lot of his fan base ended up like sending me. Some of his fan base ended up sending me messages and DMs and stuff. And I'm like, hey man, don't worry about it. It's cool. You know, they were just picking. They were just kind of
okay, yeah.
They were goofing. They were having a little joke on me time, and I didn't pick up on it at all. I was the butt of the joke for like 2 straight days. I was just sweating. I was like, oh,
I love that you use the word goofing. You know, Reno 911 when he goes and buys a
new boot goofing.
New boot goofing. I don't know. I can't hear the word. I can't hear the word without thinking that. But anyway, go check out Dad Guy. Give it a listen if you haven't already listened to it, and then subscribe to him. His YouTube is Funk Turkey. And then if you really like what he's doing, head over to his Patreon, which is also Funk Turkey.
It is.
And throw the man some dollars a month. You know.
By the way, let me throw this out there for your listeners.
Plug yourself, please.
Yes, thank you. I'll let you come on a thing and plug yourself at some point.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Anybody, look, I can't monetize my channel at all because, and I know that seems like such a whiny thing to bitch about. It really does, but
first world problem
really is. But I didn't expect to make money off of this, but now that the possibility is there, I really would like some money off of this. I can't monetize it, which is just a little bit sad for me. But what I've decided to do instead, and they can't stop me from doing this, so fuck you, record labels. Except for the ones that want to sign me. I love you.
Please sign me.
Please sign me. Except the other ones, kiss my ass. But you, whoever you are, Mr. Executive Man, who's watching this podcast. Where was I going? Oh yeah, the Patreon.
CEO, if you're a CEO and you watch this, thank you.
I will whore your stuff
looking
out
for investors
all day. I'll tell you. You know who I want to be an investor right now? Jenny Craig.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be perfect.
Actually, dude, that would. I don't even know if they would do it, but how much better would that lean into the whole dad bod joke thing?
I would work my ass off to lose 100 pounds if Jenny Craig would sponsor me. I would.
I'm the new Jared, minus all the child pornography. Minus all the child pornography.
I'm like Jared, but I sing and I'm funny and I dance.
Yeah.
Patreon. That's where we were.
I love kids. Just not that way.
Not that way. The Patreon thing. Look, if my lowest Patreon level is $1, which is as low as you can go. If you join my Patreon for just $1, every song I release from now until I'm dead is on there. as a MP3 download. You can have it, and you can. Shit, I don't care. Give it to people if you want to, but
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a damn. Spread it, like a virus. But
you know what you need to start doing, because I heard that you said it the same way whenever you were on the W whatever the radio station one.
Right.
You're like, until the day I die, every song I release from now till I die. You just need to throw in the good joke of the, and that could be soon.
It could be. I mean, there's a lot of cholesterol up in this body, and it could kick over any second. So it could be 2 songs. But 2 songs for $1 is not bad.
50 cents a song.
50 cents a song. You can't get that shit on
That's cheaper than iTunes.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm glad we went the same way at the same time.
What if I would have thrown out Napster?
Oh, yeah. That's still a thing.
Actually, is Napster still a thing?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they went bankrupt.
Well, probably. Thanks, Metallica.
Have you actually? Did you listen to when? Oh Lord, James Hetfield was on Joe Rogan?
No,
you should. It's pretty interesting.
Did Joe Rogan ask him if he had ever tried DMT?
I don't think so.
Wow, that's got to be a tool first now.
That's a long running joke for Joe Rogan, but I don't actually. I watch a lot of them, and he talks about it a lot, and that's why the joke exists.
Yeah, but it's not in all the time.
But I think there's people who don't realize they realize it's a joke, but they also think there's a lot of truth to it. You could go multiple episodes before he'll say something about it, but he does pretty often bring it up.
Yeah.
No, but it's a great episode. James Hetfield's talking about owning a bee farm and making his own honey and all this ridiculous stuff. And he brings up Napster, though, and actually talks about it and how, as much as they get shit for it, he's like, we were actually the band that brought light to everything. Like, it's not about us. He's like, we were the band that had the money already in the platform to say this is hurting the people who are not where we are.
Right. And that's what it ended up really being about was when we were younger, we didn't pick that up.
Yes,
we didn't pick it up. We were like, but we want it now.
And I wasn't nearly as pragmatic and normal. Like, I didn't think about what other people's. You're selfish as a kid, right?
Oh, sure.
Humans are super fucking selfish.
As a kid,
naturally.
I'm still selfish.
Of course. Well, it's a survival thing. If you're not selfish to some extent, it's almost like you could in these days and age, but it comes from the fact that there was a point in our lifespan where we needed to be selfish, otherise we may not have survived.
Right.
And even when you think about he protects his kid, well, that's still that person's kid.
That goes back to the caveman brain.
Exactly. That's caveman, you cave woman.
Right.
But it is a basic instinct thing that goes through, and it makes sense of why it's there. But yeah, I get it. I used to not give people the benefit of the doubt either.
Right.
And I know people have shit on Lars Ulrich for so long because of that and that alone. And then
there's plenty of other reasons to shit on Lars Ulrich, by the way. I'm just
like that terrible snare sound and and the entirety of Saint Anger.
He's kind of a jerk, kind of all the way around.
Don't get me wrong, he is.
But if you had to deal with that level of fame all the time, you'd probably be a jerk too.
I actually, if I was going to say anything, I think Lars is pretty.
He's calm.
He's pretty down to earth considering the amount of fame that they have.
Right. If every metalhead on earth wants to come and have their peace with you, and either say how much they love you or how much you suck.
Right? Because then you have that thing where it's like, I know people who are left and right, he sucks. And I have people where I know that you hear it to this day where people are trying to nail down that snare sound from Injustice, where it's like, dude, that snare sounds mean.
Right. It is. It's stanky. Ugh. I love it.
It is. It's like people want that people want that sound across the board. Real dry.
Right.
Hit, like the drums just snap and hit, and it works for that album.
Garagey almost.
Yes. And you just hear it. You hear it to this day in even new productions where people are like, it's what I want. It's just immediate. It's tense.
That pop. It's something about it. It's just
that crack.
Nasty, but it's nasty in a good way.
Let's see if Napster's still around real quick.
Oh, is this what we're doing?
I need to know. It's still an app on Google Play Music, so yeah.
Really?
Still around.
I am surprised.
Me too.
I bet it's like part of like.
Well, but
I bet Diddy bought it or some shit. I don't know.
It's like, hold on. Now I got to know before I say some dumb shit. Is AOL still around?
I mean, they're not sending out discs anymore.
Yeah. AOL. Let's see what that's it. Because it's like Yahoo's still around, and Yahoo hasn't been relevant forever. They bought Tumblr for a ridiculous amount of money,
and then sold
it for nothing.
I know. That was a huge loss on their part. You know why? You know why Tumblr went to crap? Because they started banning all the porn stuff.
Yep. You can't ban the lifeblood of an entire service.
Right,
You
right.
know, I was surprised, and this is actually interesting. No shame on anybody. I had a lot of people on my Facebook friends list who I did not even realize. They were like, I have a Tumblr that they're like, I don't even tell anybody about it, and they still didn't even link it there. They're like, but I go on that Tumblr and I post nude images of myself and stuff all the time just because I want to, and I consider it art. And I'm like, wow,
That's crazy.
there's a lot of people that do this.
That's crazy.
And I was like, and you're just ripping that away from
This,
them.
which but which Tumblr specifically, Jessica? Which one?
please.
There's so many Tumblrs out there. Can you tell me which
I
one?
want to see your art.
I am interested in.
You know, the
art.
guys who, hey, you know, I really want to see your art. Okay, apparently, dude, they are still around. AOL still exists.
Wow.
AOL, formerly known as AOL Incorporated, and originally known as America Online.
Wow.
Good Lord. Now they're
That is-
AOL, period.
Just AOL period. They're trying to stylize. It's stylized like a kind of an Apple-y sort of thing now.
They still have 5,600 employees.
Wow.
Good, you know what? Good for you guys. AOL,
Good job, AOL. You're still hanging in there.
you know,
Still
there's
hanging in
nothing.
there, grinding it out.
There's nothing quite as
And it's tough.
legitimately iconic as the "You've Got Mail."
Yep.
Dude, that's
That was
classic.
Yep.
They literally made an entire Meg Ryan movie off of that.
They did. It's a very successful Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks.
You know what makes me
movie.
laugh is that there's the other one, and I always forget the damn name. Sleepless in Seattle. They're essentially the same movie.
Sleepless in Seattle is better than You've Got Mail, but You've Got Mail is more iconic
Than that one, yes.
just because of the AOL connection
The
to
tag-
it
the
that
tagline.
makes it a touch more memorable. Because I can go, oh yeah, You've Got Mail, you know, because it was the sound.
Dude,
But
if
somebody
I'm-
goes, you know that Tom Hanks Meg Ryan movie? You Got Mail? No, the other one, the good one.
They came out
know?
like a year apart from each other.
Right.
I don't actually know if that's true, but dude, they look the same age and everything in both movies. Like
I feel like they were originally pitched it maybe as a sequel of some kind,
And
but then they were like, you know what? No, let's
no, fuck
rewrite
it,
this.
let's really capitalize on this AOL thing.
Have you guys heard about the internet? Let's do the same movie, but let's remove the one ads and the mail and replace it with this fad called the internet. It's not going to stick around, but let's make money on it while it does.
Killer tagline though, right? People
Yeah.
just thinking about it. People go, "You've got mail." It's one of those like what do they call it? It's when you're unconsciously spreading word of something to where because people know the name You've Got Mail because of AOL, they're more likely to want to go see this movie or stop by in a store and go, You've Got Mail. It's like because you have these memories attached to one thing, you have a higher chance of going to this thing.
Right, and that all makes this weird interconnected network. I mean, a lot of the big advertising things, especially, you know, well now, but all the way from the 50s and stuff, those taglines
Yes.
are iconic. I
Yes.
mean, got milk, you know, it takes you to a spot.
It does.
It takes you to a moment, you know, or, you know, where's the beef, which is probably before your time.
Yeah,
but
the Wendy's, but
yeah, or, you know, or whatever, you know, it's what's for dinner, you know.
It's true. Or like, you know, the whole, and it's a little different, right? Sometimes it can be taglines, but then as we continue to move into technology getting further and further, then you have moments of like, I will never be able to forget Jack Link's beef jerky because of those messing with Sasquatch commercials.
Yes, yeah.
And it's not even like there's not a tagline with that. It's just, it's such a vivid memory because of what it was. It was stupid, but you will forever remember it.
You stop thinking about it as a commercial. You start thinking about it as like a little short series.
Right, and then you
know?
have those things where it's like it's not even a tagline, but it's an ideology behind it. Because like, you know, technically, I guess Chick-fil-A's tagline or whatever their marketing tagline is, "Eat more chicken from the cows."
Right.
But they do massive. It's a whole campaign around that idea.
Yeah.
Of cows misspelling words.
Right.
And just leading you towards like, hey, go eat Chick-fil-A. But
Don't eat us.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like it doesn't even have to be a tagline anymore. Now it's like, haha, that sentence that's spelled wrong from this cow that looks like a human.
Exactly. Yeah, intelligent cows who have feelings and don't want to be
And
consumed.
don't want you to eat them.
Yeah.
Yes. Please don't eat us. You know what would be great? A Chick-fil-A commercial. I know they wouldn't do it, but I almost, you know what? We should do this.
Okay, I'm in.
We're giving it away right now, but I don't care. We should do a Sarah McLachlan or whatever
Oh my God.
in the arms of an angel Chick-fil-A commercial with cows sitting there with super sad looks on their faces, and then
The one tear
in the arms of an angel going in the background, and then you just hear, "Please don't eat us." And then at the end, Chick-fil-A.
Yep. For just one 12-piece nugget a day, you can save a cow.
Say, dude, we could do this.
That's great.
I feel like
That's
this is a
great.
good idea.
I'm in. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. We have to get a cow suit. Somebody would have to because a CGI cow. Is
I don't even think that. Let's just look up. Let's look up. What do they call it?
stock footage.
Stock footage of cows that just look sad.
Yep, I'm going to Google that right away.
Find the
Stock footage. Sad cow. Send.
Hey,
Enter.
if any Imgur or no, it's not Imgur. What's the what's the stock
photo?
Stock photo website? That's real big.
I forgot. Yeah, I know.
Dude, if anything,
Shutter.
Shutter. Yeah, that's the one that if anything it can be thought of.
It's there.
There is a stock photo of it. I swear to you, and it's
not only
who would ever need this?
Not only is there a stock photo, there's stock footage.
Yes,
of anything
across the board. But I feel like we can pull this off. And then even if it's like you just hyper zoom in on the cow's face.
Just the slow move in. It's the slow push. The camera
or the zoom start and the slow pull out. Either way, you have the same effect, right? Nice. And you got to do it to where it's like in the arms. It just slowly, just a couple inches per. You get an inch and a half like every 3 seconds.
Right, just a real slow.
Yeah,
classy camera move.
Yes, yeah, and thankfully we don't actually have to have a camera. We can just do it digitally.
Black and white. Just the black and white, that's what really that's what gets the feels. Is black and white because it's double serious.
And then we start putting artistic intent behind this, right? We change into color when we come to us, right?
Right.
Then it's like that's the olden times. Don't eat meat. That's what the black and white symbolizes, right? Now we're coming into the modern time and the enlightened era, and we go eat chicken, you fucking assholes.
Yeah. For one Popeyes chicken sandwich. But and what was that insanity for just a minute, and the little feud that went on between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A,
dude,
with a damn chicken sandwich. You know what I respect? Raising Cane's the entire time sitting on the side like, who cares about a sandwich? No. Just eat the strip. Just eat the strip.
Now here's the thing.
That's it.
And I don't know because I'm assuming that the closest Popeyes to you is probably ours.
Yep.
That you would actually go to.
That's
it. That thing hit, and at first our Popeyes was normal, and as it continued to grow, then our Popeyes started getting it too, and it bothered the hell out of me because it happened here whenever they reopened that really bad cheap Mexican Taco Tico.
Yeah.
Dude,
people went crazy.
I feel like it should be illegal. It bothers the shit out of me when people are literally all the way through a drive-through to where the drive-through continues to go out half a mile down the road. That should be illegal. You're almost causing accidents because you can't look at the drive-through being at the end of at the beginning of the parking lot or the drive-in and going, oh shit, maybe I don't want a chicken sandwich. Instead, it's like I'm going to wait 45 minutes to get a chicken sandwich that I'm sure is okay. But was it worse?
Like, you know what? I'm going to come back later. This line will surely go away.
What was worse is that happened the other day where there was cars out there and they're like, we don't even have any chicken sandwiches left.
We're out. Oh, no.
And there were people just still waiting until they got to the drive-thru. I'm like, yeah, we don't have any chicken sandwiches. Like, you just wasted an hour of your time. Played yourself.
Flip the table. Chaos in the streets. Lighting trash cans on fire, flipping cars over.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Okay, you know that classic rock song of good Lord, how am I forgetting the way that it fucking goes?
Here we go.
I'm telling you, I'm having to rely on my phone a lot right now. It's I don't know why. For some reason, I had the song in my mind, and then I immediately switched over to Loverboy's "Working for the Weekend." For some reason, I know the song.
What if you did the sad cow commercial, but you had Loverboy's "Working for the Weekend" playing?
As you're zoomed in, everybody's working.
The sad tear coming down the cow's face.
Can we edit a tear onto the cow's face? And then we're implying that everyone's working for the weekend to eat this fucking cow. Man.
Everybody's working for the weekend to go burn a Popeyes to the ground, really.
Good Lord, what is the name of this fucking song? Blaze played it for a talent show at school, and I know the song so well, and I don't know how it's evading my mind right now. I mean, it's a classic song.
I really hope there's footage of that somewhere, but...
Oh, dude, you have to see Blaze. Blaze had a ringlet fro at the time because that's his hair, his natural hair. His hair was out here.
Good.
Tight little, not tight actually. His brothers are real tight, but his were kind of loose, and they're just like a little ringlet fro.
I'm so excited for him to come back and watch this later.
Good Lord, it's just bothering the shit out of me. I can't. But you know what? We got that little nugget of working for the weekend. I don't know if I'd rather do that or the Sarah McLachlan now.
You can do both, and you can play them against each other and see which one does better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Actually, you have to put the Sarah McLachlan one out there first and let it do its thing, and then you have to come behind it with the other.
Yes.
because then
No, I got it. All right.
Okay.
So the Sarah McLachlan thing is for the cows, right? And
Yep.
then we're going to come back with chickens that look happy, and we're going to everybody's
working for the and they're
it's the
dancing,
chickens
they
being
got little
like
sunglasses and
It's the
shit
chickens
on.
being like, dude, in like 1 week I'm going to be in that motherfucker's stomach. Woo! And it's like they're all working to just fucking die,
Oh,
which
man.
completely undermines the long running thought that people have of chickens being completely,
getting dark, getting
shit on and just living in tight clusters. But you know what? That's not the experience I've seen. My family up in Berryville, my grandma for the longest time ran a chicken house for Tyson.
yeah.
And dude, her chickens are fucking awesome. They were
Yeah.
treated well. They had a
Yep.
nice big old thing. They weren't just
The
stuffed in there. She
of
did
all
it.
the, I mean, this entire area around, especially into the Arkansas side of things,
Yes.
is all chicken farms,
Yes.
and every chicken farm I've ever seen
Has been normal, and the
has
chickens are
not
happy.
been the factory farm
Yes.
thing. It's been these chickens have plenty of room to run around.
That's
and
why I
they
like
have
eating
stuff
Tyson.
to-
I
to
literally,
eat.
I know so many people that sell their chickens to Tyson, and their
mean,
chickens are treated fucking
I
phenomenally.
know that stuff exists out there.
Of course it does.
And I just haven't seen it. And that crap is totally inhumane and horrible. But at the same time, we used to have to chase our food down and starve and not get it for days and days and days. Before we even had spears and stuff, we were,
And here's the problem.
persistent hunters.
Yes,
endurance
yeah, exactly.
hunters.
Yeah, you'd literally
So-
have to continually follow it.
Until it was too tired to run anymore.
Then we'd fuck it up.
Then we'd hit it with a rock.
Then we'd do the Dave Chappelle, gotcha,
Right.
bitch. With a unity ring and all, just punch this shit out of this fucking deer. Unity!
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But that I said this the other day in our Discord. We were talking about it, and don't get me wrong, I do completely agree with the fact that happens. I think it's area specific because one of the things that's great is not only do I know people who sell their chickens to Tyson, I also know that the Tyson's made in 4 different places around here that the chicken comes from within a couple of miles from where it's at. The chickens go to it. My family works at Tyson up in Berryville, so literally my grandma had the chickens, and then my uncles would work for Tyson. It's like across the board. If you know where your chicken's coming from and you know what you're getting, I eat Tyson with absolute no problem. I like it.
Yeah.
And then
but because you've seen.
Exactly,
because
I
you've
understand
seen-
the chain of events,
Right.
but we're also in a part of the world, a part of America rather, that has the ability to do this. We have the land to give them plenty of room. We
Right.
have the farm. We have acres and acres of unfarmed or of
pasture, just
pasture.
open land. Yeah,
Yes,
my entire
exactly.
extended family is in cattle ranching. They're in cattle ranching.
See, my uncles have started doing that
There
as
you
well.
go. And I know the factory farms exist, and they're horrible conditions. But to my experience so far, every cow I've ever seen has just so much room to do.
And they're kind of cool. They're like character cows.
And they're yeah.
It's like you go up to him, he's like, "What's up, dude?" It's like cows. It's like, "What the fuck's up, bro?"
They're almost pets sometimes, which is
Dude, they essentially are.
that's sad in a different
Now that
way.
gets weird, right? I had to
That's
talk
sad
to my
in a different
family.
way, yeah.
I had to talk to my family. I was like, "Look," I was like, "Have y'all ever eaten a cow that you raised?" And they're like, "Yeah, we have." And I was like, "How do you get over that?" And they're like, "Well, essentially, it's kind of like you understand they're part of the food chain, and it's like we didn't kill her early to do this. We
Right.
waited until she was at a poor quality of life, and then we were like, we're ending
she's
her life.
suffering,
Yes, exactly.
and
And now she's becoming part of the food chain for us, and we're more intimate with the food. We understand what it is, where it came from, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Your listeners are going to be so fucked up right now. They're
Just
going to be
knowing-
like, I don't even know where we were going with this. We ended up talking about the ethical treatment of animals. And stuff, and
But that leads me to one thing is where I was talking about in the Discord the other day is I don't think people seem to be pretty shy about wanting to say what the actual problem is, and it's not necessarily that yes these animals are treated poorly, but the problem is not just people wanting to continue to crank out food. It's about the fact that we waste so much because we have to produce so much
Yes.
because we have so much
Yes.
population, and it's a scary thing. People don't want to talk about population because the only quick fix to population is to just fucking kill people, which
and
I'm not.
not a great
I am
idea.
not
a great
saying
idea.
That's what we're doing. Not at all. I don't agree with that. But it does. The thing is because people don't even want to talk about it, I feel like there's no measures being put in place to slow people down so that we can at least eventually get to a point where our
Right.
population is under control. Instead,
we're just expanding and expanding, and that expanding population demands more food for survival.
and you reach a point of no control. It's like cows farting and fucking with the atmosphere. But you real.
I have
cows-
a strict no politics. The network is holding me to a no politics. Actually, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not even fucking with the Green New Deal thing. I'm not talking about that at all.
Yeah.
But no, I just mean that the whole thing about people being like, hey, cows fart and fuck up the ozone. Okay, yeah, we have science that says that. But
we fart and fuck up the ozone too.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have that problem if we didn't have to have as much cows as we did to make as much meat as we did. And it's like, all of that is cheap eating. When people go, oh, I have very little money, what do you see people eat often? Ramen noodles, which is terrible for you, and chicken. Yep. People will normally use chicken as their meat of choice when they can't afford much because it's incredibly easy to do that. Right. Cows exist the same way. You can get ground beef for like $3 a pound. I mean, you can stretch the hell out of some ground beef.
There's cheap meat out there. It exists, but to have to worry about where it's being sourced and hoping that you're eating it and it's been raised ethically and it's been treated humanely is such a scary concept for me
that you almost have to avoid it, or you just constantly be in this like
I get into this point of
existential crisis,
a total existential crisis, because then I'm like, I couldn't exist unless I had eaten this stuff that had been treated so horribly all of its life, but I'm not I don't think I'm a bad person. And then I go back and think about how many cheeseburgers did I eat this week, And then
I eat so many. I'm not even gonna lie.
And so you get into, I think I'm a good person but I did that, but maybe I'm good, maybe I'm not.
See, but doesn't it come into that thing of it? I feel like way too often people completely ignore what your intent was.
Sure.
And I mean that across the board. Be it eating meat, people are like, how could you do that, you monster? I'm not going to the fucking burger store and going, I can't wait to eat this motherfucking cow that was treated like shit.
Can I kill the cow too? Is that an option?
I don't even want to kill it. I just want to slice its nipple off and watch it suffer. But my point being is that people don't do that. 99 people out of 100, or even 999 people out of 1,000,
not even thinking about it,
are not even worried about it. They're thinking about self-sustenance, feeding themselves, going about their business.
Right. They get their deluxe burrito,
and a lot of the reason that you can tell that is
eat one half of it, and they give the other half to their kid, and they're like, eat this cow meat, and then that's it.
You know how people eat cookie dough out of the tube? Can you imagine somebody just like slicing open a thing of ground beef?
Oh. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh good lord!
And my wife does that too. Not the ground beef, obviously, but the cookie thing. Dough. And I do. I don't know if you can tell, but I do too. And
people are always like, salmonella. I'm like, dude, just settle down.
Who cares? Nobody's gonna eat. You're not gonna get salmonella from Toll House cookies.
Now,
get out of here.
It'd be different. It'd be great if the people that were still like, people being like, oh, you can get salmonella, and then people eat it anyway. Like, well, whatever. I'll take the chance. It'd be more funny. It would be a really interesting. If you could do the experiment where no one knew prior, but you just like you introduce someone who never had cookie dough, right?
Right.
They eat cookie dough, they fall in love, and they start eating the shit right out of the tube, and they're like, "This is amazing." And then go up to them later and be like, "You can get Ebola from eating."
This could kill you.
And I'm mean like something scary.
Yeah, let them get like 5 tubes deep.
Well, more than that, I'm talking about months. I'm talking about like 6 months of this person
you're sadistic.
Once a week eating a thing of cookie dough and be like, this is my best part of my week, right? They go to work, they work a shit-ass job. Yep. Friday comes, they go home, they open up those Toll House cookies and just fucking pound it right in their face.
Like, well,
6 months later.
How's that horrible disease treating you,
6 months later we go, hey, that we do like a broadcast across, this is like a Truman Show world, right? Where they all exist in a bubble, a dome.
Yeah.
And then they're just sitting there, and then we have the news person go, okay, now that they're all addicted to the cookie dough, we're going to make a news broadcast about how cookie dough has Ebola. Then we're going to see how cookie dough sales continue to go.
Yep.
Right?
Let's just see if they trend downward.
Do you think that people fucking love cookie dough enough that they're like? And here's the thing, right?
It gets weird. I can tell you for a fact they do.
People are like,
they do.
I'm
one of them. I would. This will give you AIDS. Well, fuck it. I'm eating it.
Well, you know what? Magic Johnson fucking survived.
If Magic Johnson can do it, I can do it too.
The fucking South Park joke of, oh, you got to inject all your money into your bloodstream. Dude, one of the funniest jokes I've ever seen from South Park was that, where they do that and they go through the whole thing where it's like people going to like neighborhoods and being like, you can just do that. And then you see the one car drive out in the middle of Africa and it's just all these Africans who probably don't even speak English, and they're just sitting there emaciated, and this guy goes, take all your money and put it into shoot it into your veins. And it's like, that means nothing to these people.
Mainlining it.
That shit's hilarious. There's some jokes that's just like, It's obviously a joke. You just gotta drop the shit and realize that the entire existence is to be how ludicrous is this situation.
Yep.
You know?
And I know other people have talked and touched on this, but where we're at as far as people being offended about everything.
Yes.
It's such a tiptoe existence that you have to lead to avoid offending anyone, and there comes a point where you just kind of gotta go, you know what? You're not gonna make everybody happy.
Well, and that's the thing, right? If you try, and people be like, "Well, comedy should be clean." There's no way.
It's
because
impossible.
if you're worried about
you're going to offend someone
with anything you do,
anything, my dumb video that I didn't even care about offended people enough to send me hate mail. Some really vitriolic, horrible shit. By the way,
do we get to go to that in the mean tweets section that we're going to essentially?
You know what? I'm good. Let's do it.
Fucking do it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to go back and read. Available.
I'm going to go back and read some of the hate mail that I got.
Do you like save them in a special part on your phone so you can go back and look at them?
It's on my Reddit account, and I can just go and find the very bottom part. Where did I put?
You know what Reddit? I found really ironic about that is I was like Reddit is probably the area where it's gonna be bad, but dude, YouTube comment sections can be pretty relentless too.
They're terrible too.
And I gotta say, really man, bad. I was really surprised that the majority of your comments were positive.
I have been too. Totally surprised at YouTube. Reddit, I wasn't terribly surprised about, but YouTube has been so amazingly positive and full of love and happiness.
When you watch certain people and you go and look at their comments, it's like, dude, people are mean so often that it surprised me that something that hit 1 million views is still overwhelmingly positive.
I'm having some. It's not one to connect, but I remember them well enough to know what they said because they burned themselves into my brain. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's going to work.
Nothing burns into your memory quite like someone saying that they want to kill your family.
Oh, it's terrible. My favorite one is the one where somebody said, maybe being creative isn't for you. You should get other hobbies. I laughed. I cried laughing.
Dude.
I cried laughing because the best part of that one was I was like, well, let's see what your creative talents are. And I clicked on her channel, and it was one unboxing video of her unboxing a big, huge box of weed. That was the whole thing. And it wasn't even, it was like, I'm just going to open this box right here, and here's some weed. And that's my video. I hope you like it.
Though, here's the other thing about that, right? Not only is it funny because you got that victorious moment of like, here you are fucking over here trying to show me that you're like apparently the police of great content.
You're the one that knows everything good in the world.
Which, okay, I will say this. I am a big proponent of the idea of when people say, one of the arguments I hate the most is when you have a real criticism, a criticism that's fair, that you're not being ridiculous about, and you're saying, hey, look, this is the way I feel about this. Right. I think that this could have been better in this area. And then someone goes, you write your own fucking song. It's like, hey, hold up, bro.
That's different.
You can't say that I can't have an opinion. So I can't say that I can't watch somebody perform a brain surgery who I see obviously fuck up and then go, he didn't do a very good job on that brain surgery. Go, you perform your own brain surgery.
There's a difference between being constructive and criticizing someone and just being an asshole.
Yes. And that one was obviously meant to be an asshole. So being able to click through and be like, look at your fucking...
The thing is, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that person was being an asshole on purpose to roast me because it's fucking hilarious.
Dude, that was the other side of it, right? Is that the jokes that make me laugh the most are things that hit right into shit that I already think.
Right there.
Because like, here's the thing. I know that you were already, right? Part of why you didn't want to post as a Reddit is the thing of like, you're already doubting your own creativity. Like, maybe this isn't as good.
Maybe this sucks. And I'm not saying it's high art by any means. It's definitely not. It's a fat, dumb dude jogging down the road and dancing most of it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not exactly, the Mona Lisa. I get that. But there is some humor in it, and to me, there's some humor in it. I was doubting it really hard, and I was really scared to put it out there. The fact that it got as much positive attention as it did is really awesome, but the negative stuff I was like, you can't roast me harder than I can roast me. I hate myself all the time. You can't say something to me that I haven't already said to myself way better than you can say it 1,000,000 times.
You know what's great about the video though? One of the things that like nailed the head, I like, this is the same shit I do. There's a great thing about self-deprecating humor, which that song is full of, right?
Oh,
to an extent,
100%.
It's small stuff. It's like
there's a line.
You have no ammo. I've already made fun of the fact that I'm fat. I've already made fun of the fact that my hair is gray at certain areas or falling out in other areas. I make jokes about
migrating to whole new areas that it never was before.
But it's like, oh, my pubes are gray now. Shit.
Yep. And 5 miles long. You know, just
The one where you just pull it out, you're like, is this a spaghetti noodle?
It's still going. It's still going. But that one got me. That was a good one.
You ever have those moments where you have a hair on your body and you're like, you start to pull and you're like, no way this is connected to me. This is got to be like my wife's hair. And you just keep going and then
I have.
And you go, ah!
That was a sensitive area. Nope. This one, here's a good one. Nothing about this is clever or funny. And it really wasn't clever because I really wasn't putting that much effort into it. I really didn't.
If I'm being 100% honest, that's a great one too.
That's perfect.
The brevity is what makes it even more funny. They don't expound any further. It's just
no capitalization, no period. They did not give a shit. Not one, and I appreciate that.
They didn't even care enough to bother with punctuation.
Not a bit. And then the response to that, the next person, so very true. That's exactly what they said. Same thing. No capital, no punctuation. You know, I appreciate the lack of effort. I really do.
There's a part of me that hopes, and I know that this probably isn't true, that motherfucker was so like, this is going to dig this man so hard that he switched to an alternate account, came back, responded to his comment on a different account, and said, so
I got accused of that. And I didn't. That's amazing. Also got accused of paying to get it up there. That was something somebody else accused me of. They're like, this is obviously a paid post.
Good Lord. Look, yeah, you know how much you would have to pay to get a video that...
Oh, it's insane.
And what kind of person would go from making... And this is no hit at you because I'm right there with you.
Please.
But what kind of person would go from making... videos that on average get 20 to 50 views or maybe 100, whatever it is, you know,
to turn around and get and pay to get 1 million.
Why would you even, if you're only getting that much, what kind of resolve would you have inside of like, no, this is so good that if I pay,
I'm so committed to it that I'm
going to pay this much. Yeah, it's just again, why do people put bad intent on people? It's like, do you really think someone would go out of their way?
Because their existence is so fucking miserable, they have nothing better to do. That's it. That's all there is to it. Like, okay, the thing about me, the idea that I might have paid to get it up there, I drive a 1998 Ford F-150 with a spring in the seat that is sticking out of the seat and poking me directly in the left ass cheek. Everywhere I go, I have a ramen noodle budget. Do you think I can pay to get 1 million views? Fuck you!
Hey! Don't belittle that Patreon money. Like I said, that $20 a month got you some Raising Cane's.
I appreciate my patrons. Man.
No, dude, for real.
I'm so thrilled that anyone would give money for my idiocy.
You know, you see another joke that you said towards me that I know that you were just you were joking that made me laugh so hard because I'm like I know what he's getting at is when we were talking about Patreon early, but the day before it went viral, I'm explaining to you. I'm like, you know, hey, we have a Patreon, we make this much money, and he was like, holy shit!
It blew my mind. I was like,
you were like real
money.
Real money. You're like not
money. You guys are making real money. You guys aren't making chicken nugget money. You're making real money.
I want to go find it because the way you said it just cracked me the fuck up because it was the same thing of like you were just throwing it out there as a little joke. And it was set up to where you said it because you meant it to an extent. I hate Facebook Messenger.
I did mean it.
But you were also like throwing out the joke of, I can't fucking find it. Fuck this. Anyway, Facebook Messenger wants to keep going back to the bottom for some reason. But what you said essentially was, and this is real people. You said, this is real people, right? Not y'all's mom sending you $25. Yeah. Like, not y'all's mom giving you $25 a month each, right?
I didn't really mean it that way, but that's something my mom would do.
Dude, I laughed so legitimately hard at that.
I'll be your patron, honey. You know, she would do that. And so
my mom's done that too. You know, throughout all my music endeavors, I'll show my mom something, and it's like she's suddenly your biggest fan. Like, you're so good.
I know,
and it's nice. It's nice to have, but
I just started merch. We talked about this off camera. Yes. I just started doing merch for my stuff, and I was partially proud of it because I did it all myself. And so I was talking to my dad about how insane this attention that I've been getting is. I went to him and I was like, I have merchandise now, as in like. I can't believe that I have merchandise now is the way I said it.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, let me see it. I was like, okay. And so I showed it to him. He was like, I'm going to buy that one. It's like, you don't have to buy it. I'll just give it to you. You know what I mean? You don't have to like spend your money on this. You're my dad.
You know, the great parent thing of like, and don't get me wrong, it's awesome, right? It's like,
sure,
you appreciate that your parent, and that's what's even better. I appreciate it whether she really means it or not. I'm just like, Mom, I appreciate that you're such a good parent that you understand that there's value in making me believe in myself,
right? And you do it for your own kids too, like
absolutely.
And when I was a kid, like I could not draw at all. I would draw some piece of shit thing on a piece of paper with crayon and like hold it up, and my dad would be like, that is a really nice car. And I'm like, it's a cat. You
That
know,
legit, that legit happened to me earlier today. Kyrie drew what, and I'm not kidding. It looked, and now this is closer, right? It looked
Right.
like a monkey. I was like, oh, is that a little monkey? The way she drew like the
And
nose
then-
and stuff. And she goes, no, it's a little boy. And I was like,
oh, okay, I can totally not see
and
that
I was
at
like,
all.
well, at least
but
monkeys and, they say that we come
Right.
somewhere around from us. So I was like, I can see that we're both primates.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. There's hair on our arms.
But I do that to
and-
Kyrie all the time. She'll draw something, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is that is beautiful, and that's so good looking, and we'll just keep going.
Yeah, you end up getting a little bit vague with your compliments just so you don't tip that. Is that the wrong thing?
You don't oversell it too,
Right,
right?
right.
It's like, you just say, "Oh, that's beautiful,"
awesome,
and
you
then,
know.
and then I'll get her to explain some of it to me, and I'll be like, "Yeah, show me what's everything on you." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Well, that's like she drew a unicorn the other day, and it looked like everything else she ever draws."
Yeah, it's the
But-
same. It's the same picture, and when you watch this 20 years from now, we're sorry.
I love you, Kyrie. I promise I do. But it's funny. But see, I think that there's a lot of value in letting your kids know that creative endeavors, whether or not they're actually at that point yet, the point of it is to be like, if my parents, like, my mom let me start
Yeah.
playing guitar and then actually heard me, and I probably was bad when I first started. You know,
Oh,
what I mean?
everyone's bad
I know
when
I
they start.
was, but she didn't really pay a lot of attention until I've been doing it for like 3 or 6 months, somewhere around that point.
And then at the point when
And-
she realized that he's not putting this down.
There's that, and then the point where I'm also just confident enough to where I can actually play a little bit. Where you kind of have that.
Right, right.
You get that smug, and of course I was young. I was 14, and so you have that. You have that kind of young smug thing of like, I've got
I'm good.
this. I'm getting
I'm
it.
good,
You're feeling proud of yourself, and then your mom comes in and like. There's a lot. Looking back, I really appreciate that my mom was like, we went out and
Yeah.
bought me a new amp, and
Sure.
then she took me somewhere, and I played it, and I know I was annoying the shit out of everyone.
Oh, you
In
were at
retrospect.
Guitar Center. You had it turned up to a 9.
No, not there. We went out
But-
to. I bought the new amp and I just got it and I was excited, but we had already had plans to go out to a family friend's house. And I started playing and they were all like, "Oh, you're pretty good. That's the." And then
Good job, yeah.
but of course, new amp. And I'm not focused on what anyone else is doing. I'm over here doing. I love guitar. I love this
You're
music.
staring at the fretboard. Like
And I'm
this.
just and I have it and I'm playing it
You're
and
staring
going
at
about
it.
it and I know I played for like 4 hours and I was like, I know they're fucking tired of hearing this guitar. I just know they're tired of it.
But-
but here I am fucking in my head. But my mom never wants. She was like,
Yeah.
"You're so good. That's great."
And they just
it
give
was
you
nice.
that. They give you that confidence to keep going.
But that's the point,
so
right?
It's so important as a parent because you never know. Like I don't want to be a.
Did you ever parody songs as a kid?
Huh?
Did you ever parody songs as a kid?
Oh yeah.
See, look.
Oh, yeah.
If your mom would have just shit all over your parodies as a kid, that
Oh,
probably
but-
weren't very good. We may have never went on to put out a
Do
parody
you
that reached a
remember?
million views.
I got reminded of this by a friend from school. Do you remember when the Beatles came out with that album in like the late 1990s? They busted out like an album of stuff that John Lennon had recorded, and they went back and did all the accompanying parts for it. And there was a song that came out called "Free as a Bird." I want to say it was mid '90s.
I don't know, but I'm not a big Beatles.
I was a
fan,
Beatles fan, and so that came out, and I was like, oh, I had to go pick it up, and I did. And then "Free as a Bird" was a song, and then I was just being dumb in class one day, and I had my guitar with me, and I started singing a song that was "Flat as a Frog," and it was the same cadence, and just making up words as I went. But people lost it. They lost their minds. They thought it was the funniest crap ever. I was just goofing, New boot goofing.
New boot goofing.
I was just new boot goofing. New Beatles song goofing.
See, and what's funny is I actually love doing parodies too, and I do it all the time.
It's
I
great.
do
You
ridiculous stuff.
You just do it like you're just driving along, it comes on the radio, and you just boop, it pops in your head, and you start doing it.
You know what is? You know what I also enjoy doing that makes no sense. I know this. I was playing Control yesterday, new game, and Hannah sitting there beside me, and I was just messing with her. She had one headphone in because she was watching YouTube videos, and so I said, out of this, and I said it just low enough to where I could kind of make her second guess herself. I said, "Bust down, Tatiana," right?
Yeah.
And then that's all I said. And then she kind of stopped, and I just kept playing the game like I didn't do anything. And she stopped, and she goes, "Did you just say bust down, Tatiana?" I said, "No." And she goes, What'd you say? She said, "I don't know how I heard that, but what'd you say?" I was like, "I didn't say anything," and I sold it. And she goes, "Oh, I don't know what's going on." All right. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I waited like a good 3 minutes, and then I just started. I can't even remember why I did it. I started parodying another song and then just threw on at the end. I was just singing it kind of ridiculously because
Right.
what I'll do actually, it's not even like parody. And she hates this. I will take songs and just make them country songs and start singing them
that's
like that.
fun.
I love
That's
doing
fun.
it. And then at the end of it, I was just like, I was like, blah 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 blah, bust down Tatiana. And I did that just so she know that I actually did. And she goes,
That's
"I
awesome.
hate you."
That's awesome.
But she hates that shit. But I love doing that kind of stuff. And it's just so funny. But Go ahead. I wasn't trying to steal the thunder from you.
That's okay. My thunder's very temporary. I would love
My lightning
this
in a
one.
bottle is like it's kind of like a lightning bug
Right.
in like a mason jar.
And it's almost dead.
Yeah, I haven't fed it. It's been in this mason jar with one hole in it for days.
I'm not bringing that much star power to your show, is what I'm saying. So,
Dude, I'm telling you, it's ironic that I literally told you the day before this thing blew up that I wanted to bring you on the show, right?
Yeah.
Then this blows up, and I was like,
Now I have to.
I was already going to do this anyway, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what's funny is I know there's going to be people like, which thankfully we've known each other for so long.
Sure.
He officiated my wedding. That's
I
important.
did. That
to
was
say.
fun.
Very
It was fun. And I sang "What Is Love" at your wedding.
Very good time.
Just right in the I opened with that. I started up with "Ladies and Gentlemen, What Is Love," and that's where it went. It went from there downhill.
And there was Wu-Tang references.
There are I went all out. I was like, I'm only gonna get to do somebody's wedding maybe one time in my whole life.
You know my favorite part of that though, before we go back to the point of the story, is that there were so many people who afterwards messaged me like, "Who's that guy that did y'all's wedding? He was so funny." And I had multiple people who came to my wedding go, "He needs to do weddings," and they were like, "Did he run any of that by you?" I was like, "No, I gave him complete carte blanche to do whatever."
It would be so much fun to just do like wedding roast type. You know what I mean?
In retrospect, I'm
Completely
surprised Hannah did not give a shit. Hannah was not like, "He better say this, better do this." I said, "Hey, I'm going to let Kurt do the wedding."
She's cool,
and she didn't say a damn thing,
cool.
and she loved it.
She is, man. Ever since I met her wife, I was just like totally impressed. I told my wife, I was like, you know who needs to go do your hair? Hannah.
Oh yeah. Pimp
Yeah.
my wife out. Like, don't pimp her out. Pimp her hair services out.
I really did. I was like, you need to go see Hannah. I just told her that like today.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. As a matter of fact, when she dropped me off outside, I told her you got to go see Hannah about your hair next time. Check this one out. This is one of those like, I'm so intelligent type of. This person's like, I am so smart. I lord everything over you type of guy.
Yep.
I love this one. Complete and utter trash. Low IQ peasants might enjoy this juvenile garbage. Not that hard to believe that simple-minded Redditors, most of them, think that this is peak humor.
You know, it would have been great.
In this moment, I am euphoric. You know?
You know what I love is when people try to do that, and you can tell that they're real. They're being serious. They believe
they're
this.
so serious about.
And then they misspell some of these big words they use, and whether it was a typo or what, it's still just like, fuck you. I'm glad that you put that in there, typo or not. You fucking asshole.
Yep. Euphoric. That was you know.
I am euphoric right now.
Yep. This one I actually responded to. I don't respond to a lot of them because why? You know, but this one I actually responded
If I were
to.
you, dude, I would just respond to all like the person who said this is not creative, or maybe creativity isn't for you. I'd have been like, thank you.
I responded to exactly two.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
responded to exactly two, and this is one of them. This is stupid and redundant. That song is already a 3-minute joke. And I responded with zing. That was it. I left it alone after that.
Brevity.
Just
you can't
zing.
don't go more. All you have
Why?
to say is like, dude, all I'm doing right now is acknowledging that was pretty good rip.
Yep, there was. I love people roasting me. It's so much fun. The other one that I responded to, oh man, I can't remember it. I'll come back to it. I promise you. A lot of them I got were like, oh, so obesity is funny. You know, I got that a lot, and the ones
Honestly, I'd say, well, John Candy,
yep, Paul Blart, you know, that was a thing.
I'm like, dude, you know how many actors are fucking fat and have millions of dollars?
Sure, John Belushi. I mean, that guy was a legend, and you can't tell me he wasn't funny. I mean, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley is my number one go-to for that, right?
He's the guy. He was the fat funny guy, you know, and
dude, people have tried, dude, and he was one of those fat funny guys who was so physical with his comedy, and actually,
his physical comedy was so,
which is great, right? It's like
point.
He was so physical for someone that when you looked at them, you're like, no way he could move like that. But then he did it anyway.
Lottie freaking da, you know, and he's just so good at it, you know. So somebody hit me with obesity funny, but it got to where the point people were saying stuff like, you know, you're gonna die. And your kids are obese and they're gonna die, and your baby is gonna be obese and he's gonna die, and you're all pieces of shit and you're going to die. That was a real email that I got.
My only problem with that is if I put something out there, I have absolutely no problem. You say whatever the fuck you want about me. Don't bring my family into this.
Yeah, leave them alone, you know?
My family, like your family are just, and again, this is the thing. Was your family thinking that you were going to post a video that was going to end up putting thousands of views?
Of course
no
not.
No one
Of course
involved
not.
thought that was going to happen.
Not even me. I didn't even think that.
Which is, and I mean this. I love that. I love that it happened, and that's part of why I love the conversation of. How do you find an audience the day before you fucking blow up? I was genuinely like, I even said like Blaze message like, hey, have you seen Kurt's video? I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, and
he's
I told
like, no,
him,
have you seen it?
I told him the story, and he's like, oh, it's funny. I was like, dude, if there was anybody who deserves this, I was like, Kurt did this with absolutely no expectation, realistically.
Yeah.
I was like, but then. Putting it on Reddit was just you deciding to go like, I have no expectation, but I've done this, and you know what? If there's something of value, maybe, hopefully someone can find it and it'll get some attention.
Something will resonate with someone.
And I guarantee you, even then, right? Even then, in your mind of, I'm putting this to Reddit, and even in your mind of, if this does good, I'm sure you're like, this will get like 10,000 views.
Exactly. Maybe tops.
Yeah.
You know, or 5,000, you know.
And here we go 10 times past that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it went insane. I didn't expect any of that. I really didn't. You want me to get real talk right now?
Do real talk as much as you want.
I sat in the bathroom and cried.
Oh, whenever it went viral?
Because I was like, how do I handle this? How do I talk about this? How do I approach this and remain humble? Because it's just been such a surreal experience.
Yes,
it's been so insane. The
and
emails and the calls I've gotten. But you want to know how my life has changed the absolute most? I don't ever not pick up a phone call anymore. Every time the phone rings, I pick it up, and it doesn't matter what area code it is. If I don't have it saved, if that phone rings, I pick it up now because I never know who's going to be on the other end of it. And it's so far, I've gotten a bunch that have been really cool stuff and opportunities that I can't talk about publicly yet, but every now and then it happens to me. I pick up the phone and the ego takes over just a little bit. I'm like, hi, this is the dad guy, and they're like, we would like to talk to you about your car's warranty. Fuck!
Hi, this is Jim from Dealer Processing.
I know. You got me again.
And here you are trying to talk
3 times.
You're trying to talk shit to people by answering the phone. Like, hi, this is a dad guy, and it's a fucking recording to put you in your place.
Shit. You see, I talk out of my ass one time. One of them was from a Los Angeles area code too. So that was when I was like,
even better.
Oh no, this is Ellen, isn't it? This is the one.
You know how sick it would be if you went on Ellen?
I'm not terrified of Ellen as a person.
She's from around here.
Yeah.
Prescott, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not terrified of Ellen as a person. She seems like the nicest, most
absolutely
humble person on earth. Just great to get along with. I'm terrified of her.
I call her White Oprah. I mean, she is for white women.
Oh yeah,
what Oprah is for.
Oh,
and, don't get me wrong, Oprah was Oprah for white women for a long time. But
I'm not terrified of her because she seems like wonderful and genuine and just
Oh, absolutely, both of them person. Actually.
Yeah,
I like
Oprah too. Yeah, but what I'm terrified of is her show. These are two different entities.
Yes,
she being who she is. I've watched like a ton of her stuff and like comedians in cars and getting coffee.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
I'd hope, dude. Weirdly enough, I like Ellen, no problem. I would hope that you'd get to meet her wife, Portia.
Yeah,
because I fucking love her.
To.
She's hilarious.
I would love to. The thing that scares me is her show because her show has the most insane shit that goes on in her show. Like,
yes,
I'm so scared that like I'm going to have to like sexy dance to Genuine's Pony or something. I would have to
then you also have to contend with the fact that of all the people who probably could make it happen, she would be the person to be like, close your eyes, and then Billie Eilish would come up from fucking behind you.
Right. Colored in
come out and cover your eyes and go, guess who?
Yeah, exactly. And then she's got the Technicolor thing going on with the spikes and the...
It stabs you in the eyes while trying to cover.
Oh, no! She'd be the person that could make that happen. I'm terrified of like, seriously, the possibility of having to sexy dance up the aisle to someone and do a weird thing. And I would have to, but the thing is, once you're in that spot, you're in that position, you have to commit.
Yep.
100%. It comes on. You got to get totally wild.
For video people, that was a treat.
You're welcome.
Well, you know what? Hey, considering that your following is on YouTube and that they have a high chance of watching this, there we go. You have done exactly what you needed to for them.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of that, no, this is
I just lost 2,000 subscribers because of that.
He was cool
They,
until he
they
decided to.
exited the channel so fast.
They're just watching this and they immediately go, huh, and then click over to the other tab, unsubscribe.
Yep. Just gonna get away from this. I've destroyed your show.
That does bring to a pretty interesting question, though. Are you curious at all, or I mean, don't get me wrong, because right now you're rolling with the flow, right?
Yeah,
and
I have to.
like we said,
Yeah.
we were already going to do this
Yeah.
beforehand, right? I literally before anything ever happened, I said, Kurt, I love you. I know that like you're funny. I think you're hilarious. And, I mean, if that's not
I
obvious.
don't know where you get that, but I'll take it as a compliment.
But you know,
Thank
me and Blaze are like, dude, Kurt's so fun and goofy, and Saul doesn't know you, but he was like, he seems like a funny guy, and we're going through it, and you know, I was so excited to have you on when I even said that. Before I even sent it to you, I actually was like, hey, do you guys think it'd be okay to get Kurt on? They're like, yeah. And then I sent it to you, and then of course this happens, right? And that's the kind of thing where it's like, it was so funny because now it's like you're going through this thing of like, this show is so different from what got you famous, right?
Right.
I said, you know, when we were talking, when it first went over, I was like, you know, I was like, hey, I thought it was funny already, but then we were like, why did it go viral? I was like, you know, it's family friendly.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of dads who, you know, dads exist across the board. There's some that love crass, ridiculous humor, but because once you become a dad, like you're talking about, it kind of softens you in an interesting way,
right,
and changes the way you feel.
You get a little
about
bit more
things.
open to a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
You know?
So the video touches on enough things to where I feel like it's a somewhat universal thing for specifically dads, and then the other people, because there's people that aren't dads there's women who love dad jokes, right? It's just like your wife,
sure.
And you get to that thing.
She helped me write a bunch of the dad jokes.
So you tie into a bunch of those things. So I was like, you know, you're family friendly, and people are finding you because of that. And even like your little coffee rush thing, which I also think is it's a good joke.
Yeah,
I remember when you first sent it to me, and you first did like, because you know, you sent it to me, it said coffee rush, and this was months ago,
yeah,
a year ago maybe.
Time,
I didn't remember. And as soon as I saw you tapping the spoon and going, dun, 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 I was like, son of a bitch. And I didn't know how far you were going to take it. And as soon as it switched to you doing the crazy lights and guitar, I was like, this motherfucker. It was hilarious.
And it happened in real life. That was not me playing the rush on the
you were actually doing
I was stirring the coffee like this, and I went ding, and it made the little warbly ding sound, you know, that Neil Peart's the thing makes in that particular moment, just like perfectly. And I was like, oh god, that sounds just like YYZ.
See, now here's the thing about that.
YYZ. You
go into that thing where, you know, the person who says that this is not creative or creativity isn't for you, to me, that is exactly creativity. Creativity is realizing opportunity when they strike, and you the way that you perceive things is enough for you to be able to hear that and go, I can capitalize on that.
Yep, and finding inspiration from things around you.
Yes.
You know, important. And whether that's an artistic, serious inspiration or just making a dumb joke, which is what 99.999% of what I do is. Make a dumb joke out of something I saw or heard or experienced, you know. Like my wife getting shot in the face with a laser. That's a real thing. You've met my wife, of
course.
I think she's pretty.
Lovely lady.
Blaze has met her. He came to my house and did pictures and stuff.
Speaking of which, I'm going to kind of throw it out there. He was going to get in touch with you again. He wanted to see if you'd do family photos.
I would love to do family photos for him.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
I told him he was going to be here, but I'll tell him in case he forgets about it.
He'll see it. He'll see it. My wife. She's gorgeous to me, and she has these big, beautiful eyes, and they're so big. They're like crazy anime eyes, you know.
Yes,
they're huge.
Hannah has big eyes as well, and so it's weird because I have Asian eyes.
Yeah,
and you kind of do.
I do too. I have the tiny little slit of an eye. She has these big, beautiful eyes, and so it was kind of a distress to us to find that she was having little artifacts floating across her vision.
Oh yeah.
And so she went to an optometrist, and they were basically like, you know, your eyes are so big that they're literally tearing themselves apart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she had this lattice degeneration in her eye, and so her retina and stuff was like just literally pulling itself apart, and she had holes in that. And yeah, that was the look that I had on my face, exactly, because they were like, you can go blind. You can go blind from this. We have to send you to a specialist. So they sent her to a specialist, and he was like, we have to do a surgery on you. We have to do a procedure. And you're going to have somebody drive you because you're not going to be able to see for a little bit after the procedure, and you're going to have to be careful and wear sunglasses and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I drive her to this procedure, and we get there, and no joke, the doctor that comes in to do this procedure looks like he's being controlled by Geppetto on crack. All right, he is just janky, just doing his arms behind his back, and he's like twisting in weird ways. He's a Chinese person. I know it's not cool to do a Chinese voice. I'm just going to say the things that he said. Okay,
Dave Chappelle did it.
Well, but he's Dave Chappelle. He can get by with that. My career will be
Good
sunk.
point.
So he can survive that. I can't. So that's going on. On top of that's the first thing that's going on. They've put these drops in her eye that numb it, and then they put these drops in her eye that dilate it. So she has this big, crazy looking thing going on with one eye because they only did one at a time. And so he comes in and he says, we're going to do the procedure now. And so he, with his crazy twitchy hand, is holding this lens, like a big thick lens, almost like a prism, like directly over her eye. And he's wearing this crazy, like Daft Punk looking helmet. Okay? It's insane. Yeah. It has a pin light on the side that's shining into her eye. It has this big, crazy unicorn horn looking thing on the top of it. It has a cable that's going out to this laser emitter that is this big. It's huge. It's everything on it is written in Russian, except for the number on the back that says like 2,000 milliwatts or something. It's this huge number, and I'm like, they're gonna hit her in the face with this laser
From Russia?
From Russia, right? So he's got it, and he's just he's seriously, I don't know what's going on with him. He's got something, right? And I don't want to make fun of that. Making light of someone that has a disease is not very cool most of the time, unless it's AIDS. But
yeah, we've already fucked that train up.
We really have. We really have. We've run that one right into the ground. He's basically standing over her twitching like this, and he's got the helmet, and his assistant is there, and she's wearing these crazy 80s glasses that cover her eyes, and they're like, don't look at the laser. I'm like, I'm going to try my best not to, but curiosity.
See, that's like the whole don't grab the plate because the plate's hot.
Right, but you got to.
Dude, I have that shit bad.
It's the call of the
I go to
void,
somewhere and they sit
right?
there and they go and they'll put the plate down. I'm like, watch that plate's hot. And then I immediately touch it to move it. Yep. I'm like, oh.
It's not in the right spot. Just got to put it
And it's like the thing of like, that wasn't that hot. Or like, oh, I feel alive. It was hot.
What a rush. It's like injecting heroin. Just...
It's a good thing I don't do drugs because I would probably just fucking fling off.
Right off the cliff. OD behind a dumpster. So he's got the thing.
Too bad Chuck E. Cheese's doesn't have a dumpster. That'd be a fucking... Oh, but they do have the little bin, the little bay right beside it.
What an image. What a powerful image that is.
Yeah.
ODing behind a Chuck E. Cheese dumpster.
Yeah.
That's if my career
old
goes...
Chuck E. Cheese pizza thrown out on top of you where the people didn't... The employees didn't even notice you. They just fucking...
Or he's there like always. Regular Tuesday night at Chuck E. Cheese. Kurt's OD'd behind the dumpster again. That's where my career could go. There's a possibility.
To the dumpster behind the Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. It's either to the top of Dad Joke Mountain or the dumpster behind Chuck E. Cheese.
Which is also great because Chuck E. Cheese kids go there with their parents' dad bam.
That's where I'm going to start
doing. We've reattached it to the dad joke.
I'm going to start doing stand-up at Chuck E. Cheese. That's what I'm going to... Amongst the animatronic characters.
Yes, that's I'm
going to program the characters to go ha ha ha, and then
fake laughs, and then kill themselves. Ha ha ha! Then they pull a gun up to their head.
Oh, that's good.
And it's an animatronic, even better, right? It's an animatronic gun. It goes up to their head, all robotic, and then it goes click, and then they go fuck because it doesn't actually kill them.
Kill me! So we're standing over. He's standing over with this big thick lens, and he's just holding. There's no machine like holding the lens.
Yeah,
he's doing it manually.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so no pressure, right? Just shoot her in the face with a laser and don't blind her for life. He's got the thing. He's looking. He's got these big crazy glasses on that magnify everything.
Okay, yeah.
And his assistant is there, and the room is quiet. He goes, look to the left. He presses the button, and this laser shoots out, and it like hits the prism thing, and I'm assuming it shoots into her eye in the proper area, but the rest of the room is like a Pink Floyd laser light show. Just pew, 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 pew. I was like, oh my God, I should have dropped acid before I came here. This would be great.
Wouldn't that make the drive home with your wife just that much more interesting?
I know. Man, are you seeing this road?
I'm not seeing anything, honey. Oh, yeah, sorry, babe.
So that's going on. But the best part of the whole thing is, and I'm not sure what their office etiquette is like whatsoever, but at some point, he's blasting my wife in the face with a laser, and this other assistant just opens the door, not like gently.
Fucking
Not
kicks it
carefully,
open.
basically.
Pow!
Not you know,
Like you're going through a
I have
door in a Resident
message-
Evil
right.
game.
I have a message for you. Nothing like that. She opens the door and she goes, "Hey, injection!" Like, and he like his whole like turns like this while the laser is firing, just like Iron Man blasting across the room. Just, like leave a scar across my wife's face. Like she looks like Scar from the Lion King forever because this bitch had to kick a door open so someone could get a shot.
Dude,
Just take a minute and think about what you're walking into. You don't walk into into an OR where somebody's having heart surgery and be like, "Hey, you left the windows down on your car. It's about to rain."
yeah, you do the calm. Would the owner of a 2008 black and white, your windows are down, please? Thank you.
But the
very
point
much.
is,
if you're having laser-based eye surgery, we hope that this did not discomfort you in any way. What do you drive again? If you're the owner of a 1999
F-150, your car is on fire.
the laser that shot away from your eye went directly through the building and hit your car.
Oh, that's what would happen to me.
Serendipitous.
That's what would happen to me.
You know, that would not make a terrible skit where like you go in and you make it to where it's almost like the doctor, like every shot with him is like almost horror like, and
Yeah.
then every shot
Yep.
with just your wife is like until she lays down, and then it like starts to get into like this
Gets
like,
creepy.
it goes and settles into like a creepiness, and then you're sitting there
that
watching.
Get Out vibe, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you just have it to where as soon as the laser goes, it just fucking like, if this is once you get way more money, and it just
Yeah,
fucking
I'm gonna need
you
a CGI budget.
rip this building apart, and then you actually have it go out and shoot your fucking F-150.
That'd be great. I'd love to demolish my truck that way.
Oh, dude, that'd be killer, right? What a great story it'd be that for some reason this gets you blown up enough where you have enough money to buy a new vehicle, and then you can just be like, fuck this old thing.
Destroy it on camera for some dumb
Do you think you
thing.
could? Are you one of those people that like? I
I would love that.
I'm a little weird. I find the best bits in the worst of things. Like I had a 99 Eclipse when I first started at Leadwell. I don't know if you actually remember singing or not,
remember
because
it,
I
yeah.
didn't have it for very long.
I remember
dude,
it.
that thing would break down like every month.
Yeah.
But I love that car, and I don't know why.
Well,
It
you
was a
just
little
do. You
hard to
just
get
do.
rid of it, you know?
You just do. There's a car. There's one or two vehicles you own through your life.
Well,
you
it's more
just
than
get,
that. Like,
you
you
get
know,
attached to.
I my truck I had before that I had to get rid of because it got 11 miles to a gallon, and I lived 11 miles away from where I worked. So it was
Right.
and it was back when gas was $4.29 a gallon here.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
crazy.
So it's like I couldn't afford it. I was making very little money because before I worked at Leadwell, I was working at the hospital. Oops.
Oopsie.
Either way, but before I worked out there, I was working at the hospital, so I would literally have to drive, and I was making $7.37 an hour, and I would have to literally going to work would take up half of my first hour,
Right.
if not more.
Yep.
And then that's not even accounting for taxes. So it's like
Yeah.
across the board, I was like, this sucks. I just couldn't afford it. It's like I had to plan. If I was already in town, I had to go to the store. I couldn't mess up and forget anything because it cost me so much money to go back into town.
There's a point where it becomes cheaper that a new vehicle becomes cheaper.
I love that car. I love the truck, and it actually didn't give me any problems. It was weird. It was a 95 F-150. It only had 60,000 miles on it, 59,000 when I got it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I loved it. Didn't have any real problems, but it got terrible gas mileage. So I had to get rid of it, and then I got the Eclipse because the Eclipse got 30 to a gallon. So I was like, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
But I named the truck and everything. So...
And it just takes up a spot
And I
in your
miss her
heart.
to this day.
Yeah.
It really, I find that if I own an object that even is shitty for long enough, I will find its redeeming qualities.
I think everybody misses their first car in some way.
That's fair. I miss my truck
Even if it
severely.
was a real lemon. You know what I
Yes,
mean? They
yes.
miss something about that first car.
Like my mom had a really bad Cutlass. That every time she sees one that's like it, she's like, oh,
Yep.
oh, that might even
it.
be my car.
Maybe
Hey,
it's still,
keep fooling yourself, Mom. I'm pretty sure that's not your Cutlass from 1980.
it didn't survive. But
Good Lord.
there's something always about I guess it's that first little taste of freedom. You know?
Oh, for
That-
sure.
that
It's what the
sticks
car
with you.
means.
Right.
It's not even, but the car is symbolic of your freedom, so that you attach that freedom to the car in a weird way. I get that.
Right,
I think
yeah.
that's absolutely true. I have fond memories of the first house I ever lived in that I lived on my own in. 'Cause It was the same thing. And of course, because we did ridiculous stuff there.
Yeah.
I don't think you wouldn't have, but because it was just been super weirdly late, and I don't think you ever came over like that. You came over doing music stuff a few times, of course.
Yeah.
But we used to do Nerf wars in the house, and I fucking loved it,
that'd be
right?
great.
And it was like, thinking about it now within what I have is like, who would do this? It's so dumb. We had a lot of expensive stuff in the house because we didn't have any responsibilities. I wasn't married. I mean, I was with Hannah, but I wasn't married and didn't have a kid. It was kind of like, whatever, I could do what I want.
Sure.
We'd get like 10 of us in a room, and what we'd do is one person would be the cop, and then they would go outside, and they'd stand outside for a couple minutes. Everybody else would kind of hide. We'd turn all the lights off, wait till it's pitch black, 12 o'clock at night, right? All the lights are off. And then what we had is these little Nerf guns. And the Nerf guns had laser pointers on them. And you could kind of like a little laser reticule, and you'd use those. And it was kind of like the premise that we set up, which is dumb. But the premise that we set up is it's like a cop that like beat on the door trying to get in, and like all the people like hid and like turned all the lights off. So it's like, try and, do what we can. Couldn't evacuate. This is the only exit. So try and do what you can. And it was like we had to try and get the cop down, which in today's society, talking about killing cops is pretty rough. But that was the premise. So it was like, the cops would try and get you, but you could get them too. It was like this cat and mouse thing, but you couldn't realistically move. You were kind of confined to where you were, at least a small area, where the cop could go through the whole house. And we would do that. And it was super fun, and I have a ton of fun memories tied to exactly that. One of my favorites being Andrew, which I know you know.
Yep.
We were out there, and this is the first time he had done it with us. We'd been doing it already for a while, and he's playing with us, and we also brought one of our friends, Michael, into the mix. He had never played it, but he was having a blast. He was a cop. He comes inside. Andrew had the way the house is set up. You remember what used to be my music room at the end of the hallway?
Yep.
So that was Seth's room at the time.
Okay.
And he had Seth's door cracked just a little bit, like maybe 3 or 4 inches, right?
Oh, he's got the murder hole set.
Right, yeah. And so he was sitting there ready, and he goes to look out of the hole, and Michael's at the end of the hallway and thinks he hears something, so he just shoots, and it hits Andrew right in the eye.
Ah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Here's the worst part of it, right? That's already hilarious. The best part about it is that Andrew got shot in the eye by Michael 2 more times that same night.
Oh, my God. In the same eye?
Same eye.
Oh, yes.
Across the board. And, dude, it was every time it was a different spot.
That is serendipitous.
I'm telling
beautiful.
you, it was incredible. And
that is a piece of art.
I may have told you about this. This will be my last one, and we can keep going. But Seth, did Seth ever tell you about his? And this is for anybody listening. This is Saul's younger brother, who works out there with us too. But at the time when he was living with me, since we were in high school, he's had this thing where it seems like it's maybe some form of like a physical Tourette's or something, or maybe like a mini seizure or something. It's hard to tell, but he will, like, his muscles will kind of lock up and then spasm, and it'll make him do different stuff sometimes. And we thought it was epilepsy.
I think I remembered something about that.
Yeah, we thought it was epilepsy at one point too, because it seemed like bright lights would set him into it. So we were like, whoa. But, and this is a terrible move, and this is somebody he's still really close friends with. But we were doing it, and our friend Bo comes in. He's the cop. And he didn't know it was Seth, but he didn't even think about it. He thought he heard somebody in my kitchen. And, the old house is set up. You come to the front door, living room, dining room, and then the kitchen was kind of like all this big L that you can kind of see. So he takes his phone, and we have linoleum.
Yep.
He takes his phone, and he has an app that turns the screen into a flashing red and blue light.
Oh, that's freaking...
Right?
So
what he does is he taps it, turns that on, takes his phone, puts it on the floor, and slides it into the kitchen.
He was like, okay, we're going to just give him the intentional Tourette's thing?
Well, no, he didn't know. He
didn't
know if it was Seth or not. He just thought someone was in there. So he's like, this will light them up so I can see them. He was actually being kind of smart,
Oh, so okay.
Throw the light on.
He didn't know who was in there.
He didn't know who was in there.
I thought maybe he was doing it intentionally, like, oh, I've got this motherfucker right now.
I've got this bitch about to get him.
He'll be easy to shoot when he's flopping.
But it was great. So it was Seth, right? And Seth is standing in the corner in the kitchen because of the way that the stuff went. So he slides it in there, and you just see Seth. And I was behind the couch, which you could see over the bar. And you just see it slide up to Seth. It serendipitously stops right in front of his feet. Goes up. He looks down on it. It flashes in the eye. Seth locks up and then goes, "Oh fuck!" and just bam!
Oh no!
Face plants the ground. But yeah, it's the same thing. I have so many great memories at the house, and they're all tied to stupid stuff that you only get to do when you're in that in between age where you don't have a lot of responsibility, but you're technically out on your own. Right. Your phone's ringing. I don't know if it is important.
That would be my wife. Let's do this live on the air. WGN Live. Hi, honey. Am I almost done? What are we at now? 2 hour mark?
2 hours. We can go as long as you need to. If you need to leave, I don't blame you.
I think we'd probably have to go. She's got the baby with her.
Oh.
And I've still got to go get a shirt, a nice shirt for for an appearance that I can't talk
for events.
about.
Yeah, for events and
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we're done. I've got a heart out, as they say in the biz. I've got a heart out. Yeah, hun, we're about done. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up then right now. Okay. Okay, I love you.
All right, you got your heart out.
I got my heart out.
Well, you know what, Kurt? It's been a great fun time. I really appreciate it. We
Man,
didn't get to
thank
talk
you.
about band stuff, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna have you back on the show, and it'll be great because
back.
we can talk about it with Blaze as well, one of our the other musical friend.
And when I come back, maybe some things will have transpired and be done.
That's
We can actually talk about that. But there are some things that I'm sworn to secrecy that I can't talk about.
The
yet.
CIA have reached out to. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I thought you told me.
Well,
that
you
was,
blew it now.
That was confident.
Now it's over.
Yeah. They were saying that his covers could actually save the world. So
That's it. Nope.
they were actually worried about saving the NFL, and they said viewership is down.
I was going to
But
play the
America
Super Bowl
loves a good dad.
I was going to play the Super Bowl halftime
Tom
show.
Saget.
That's what it was.
Bob Saget taught us anything. America loves a good dad.
Oh my gosh! No, we're not going to get into the Bob Saget.
The Bob Saget thing was fantastic.
He went so blue and shocked so many people when he did. It was so glorious.
We talked about it off camera, but that'll be what we end on real quick. Is that we were talking over here and we were talking about how the joke and one of the, I guess it lends itself to the question I was going to ask you. Are you worried that doing this show that's so off the cuffs and free balling and crazy? Are you worried that people seeing you in this kind of situation
a little
might shock them a little?
A little.
Very similar to the Bob Saget joke.
I'm actually when I do mention this on my various social media, I'm going to warn people in advance that
not safe for work.
That this is not safe for work and it's not safe for kids. That this is not exactly the family friendly stuff that you've come to love and enjoy.
But I think the people who I think there'll be a ton of people who like how open and different this was to everything else.
I hope so. I really hope that that's what people take away from it is that this is more informal and it's more fun.
And I think it sells. I think it sells who you are, and I don't mean everybody has those sections of themselves, right? It's like you of course have those comedic sections that have it's just dumb comedy that everyone
it's just silly dumb things, and I do try to keep it, I do try to keep it kind of PG-13.
Sure. Yeah.
There's every now and then I'll edge into a little bit more riskier territory, but nothing like coming on this show and just going off the chain.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, our closing story is just to give you a point of that real quick. Is when we were working together. When this is me and Kurt had probably known each other for a year, and this is important because the anniversary just passed.
It did 5 years. 5 year mark.
We were working, and Kurt was an IT man out where I work, and that's where we met. He was up in a very dangerous situation and really was not doing it the way he should have been.
Not at all.
Anyway, so he falls from a ladder that's probably I'd say a 15-foot fall, maybe
somewhere in there. Yeah,
12 to 15 foot, and he lands and really severely hurts himself.
It was really great. I ended up falling through an awning.
Yes.
And then landing on an air conditioner.
Yep.
And then laying on the ground. And then the ladder fell on top of me.
Yep.
Somehow.
And the craziest part of all this is that if he would have fallen about 4 inches to the other side,
I'd be dead.
He probably would have broke his back on this big, those column things. Definitely would have been dead.
Oh yeah, dead or crippled for life.
Yeah. So, but of course,
I missed it by probably that much.
We all do the thing. We hear it's right outside where I work, and we run out. We make sure he's okay. And as soon as
the first thing I remember is Mike standing over me. Are you alive? That's the first thing I remember from the feeling of me scrabbling at the wall as I fell, trying to grab anything. That, then blackness, and then Mike looking down at me like that, and then all of you guys coming around like just standing over me like I'm dead in a casket.
Yes, and then so of course once we know Kurt's okay, we immediately start joking about all this.
Oh yeah,
and that goes to sell Kurt. And what we ended up doing is because we worked in shipping, and Kurt would come over. We were creating just to give Kurt hell. What we were doing is we were creating fashion items out of it. The first one we did was the bubble wrap poncho. And we called it part of our fall wear lineup.
The fall wear.
Yeah, it was great times, man. We made a watch out of bubble wrap, which was fantastic. We made a top hat.
I still have a picture somewhere of my knee when it was all gnarly and swollen to like the size of a cantaloupe. It was it's so nasty, and I think I still have some of those pictures too. I think I still have those, but I've got to.
Kurt, give yourself a plug, and let's roll this out.
Funk Turkey on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, The Funk Turkey on Instagram, and also Funk Turkey on Patreon. Gonna do a lot more stuff. Have about 3/4 of an album in the can. And
he will be on the show again, I can guarantee you.
And have some TV stuff coming up too. So it's going to be really weird and interesting. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen to my life because I have no idea what's about to happen to me. And I hope I get to like look back at this in like 5 years and be like, "Oh, you poor sweet summer child," you know. Walking in here and being like, "Man, this studio is really nice," and then I go back and like, it's nothing like NBC Studio B or anything, you know.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, it's been fun, Kurt. Really appreciate you coming on, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and of course, we will see you around next time. Appreciate you. Thanks to our patrons, Dan Barber, Josh Jarrell, Matthew Green, my name is Dan, Douglas Below, Sean Santarud, Eric McAllister, Matt Sycamore, Mr. Funk Turkey himself,
me.
Shadowist, Steven Salazar, The Stonered, Travis Below, Eduardo Palomino, Stefan Swanlin, Coy Live, Philip LaGuerre, Corey Hickerson, Brian, Donovan Williams, William Digital Spooker, Derek Porter, Josh Ayers, Brandon Edwards, Sean One Neo, Tyler Powers, and Dylan Kirby. If you would like to support the show in any way, shape, or form, head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Nartec. Thank you.
Can I talk about real just 5 seconds about how smooth the name Eduardo Palomino is?
Dude, it rolls off the tongue.
Eduardo.
Every time I read it, I'm like, this is a great name.
Oh
like
my
your
God.
parents.
That is
like, my name is Brett Beck. It's like it comes out of your mouth like it's spastic and crazy, and his is like Eduardo Palomino.
I mean, he sounds like a Latin soap opera star. I don't know what you look like or sound like or smell like, but I'm just saying you have the name.
You have the name.
You could do it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.